Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Average Joe's Eatery. Average Joe's, where we want your experience here to be a happy one. 3501 Trout Lake Road.
Good afternoon, friends, and welcome into Memorial Gardens, where we'll see today's afternoon action as the Barrie Colts, with a 5-2 record, come in to take on the North Bay Battalion, who are 4-2 on the season. I am your host, Derek Lindeman, and I'll be joined momentarily by Courtney Kenny for today's pregame show.
The pregame show is brought to you by La Huerta Imports, family owned and operated since 1995. Visit lahuertaimports.com for more details.
While as the weather heats up outside, a balmy 22 degrees here in North Bay, it's going to get heated up here inside Memorial Gardens as the Highway 11 rivalry will renew today for the upcoming season. Just down the road, the Barrie Colts, coming off a big 6-5 come from behind, 4 unanswered goals as they defeat the Mississauga Steelheads, whereas the North Bay Battalion fell Thursday night to the Ottawa 67s by a score of 4-2. At this time, I'd like to welcome in Courtney Kenny. Courtney, a lot of people in attendance tonight as the North Bay Battalion celebrate Indigenous Youth Day.
Yeah, and they kind of did this a little bit last year, Derek, albeit in December, or closer to December, because, you know, they weren't really sure. Truth and Reconciliation Day was a brand new thing and all this stuff, and they weren't really sure what was going on in regards to restrictions of attendance and stuff. So good to see that we're going to have a strong contingent of people wearing orange today. I unfortunately don't have an orange shirt outside of a New York Mets shirt. That's not really appropriate to have on a broadcast, but I do have it on underneath. And the orange heart, but you see a lot of orange shirts on over in section 9, which is good to see, which is, you know, basically, I heard the whole section was basically bought out today, in the Gen 7 fan area, so should be a good one, should be a loud one, and if the Barrie Colts proved anything last night, no lead is safe when they're on the ice.
No lead is safe. They scored those 4 unanswered goals. And one of those players that lead the charge was one of our players to watch tonight, as that is brought to you by Mike, the financial guy.
Tonight's 3 Stars is brought to you by Dave's Automotive Services, 411 Airport Road in North Bay. Expert troubleshooting, quality repairs, and time-efficient labor are the 3 stars of service you can expect from Dave's.
Players to Watch is brought to you by Mike, the financial advisor. If you have financial questions, he has financial answers. On Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Mike the FA. Players to Watch is brought...
Well, a little bit of miscommunication there with our producer, Ben Long. We'll let him away as it's still early in this season. But, Courtney, let's get right to the players to watch. That, for the Barrie Colts, is none other than San Jose draft pick Ethan Cardwell.
Yeah, Ethan Cardwell, having a good start to his season. He's always a thorn in the side of the North Bay Battalion. He's a player I don't like all that much because he plays for the Barrie Colts. But you have to respect the hustle. You have to respect the grind and the effort that he has out there. And it'll be fun watching him in this one if you're a Barrie Colts fan. He's
off to a hot start. He's only been in 2 games, picking up 5 points. None other than 4 points to lead that charge last night.
Yeah, and I mean... That's the incredible part about it is that, when Mississauga had a 3-0 lead at one point in that game, and next thing they lose that game 4-3, basically on the back of Ethan Cardwell, like you said. It was basically Ethan Cardwell just looked at the Steelheads and said, you know what, I'm gonna take over this hockey game, and I know it's early in the season and whatnot, and all that fun stuff, but a lot of people picked the Mississauga Steelheads to come out on top of the Central Division. If Barrie keeps playing the way that they do and the North Bay Battalion turn it on the way that we've seen them in the past, this is going to be a tough division to come out on top.
Definitely, it's going to be a really tight division in the Central this year, and this Highway 11 rivalry is at the peak of the Central Division. Let's turn things to the North Bay Battalion. Our player to watch tonight is the leader of this Indigenous Youth Day, number 14, Dallin Wakely.
Yeah, number 14 in your program is probably number 1 in a lot of hearts. We see the number 14 jersey travel really well, albeit right now a little bit muted. Dallin's going to be playing with a bit of a heavy heart as there is some stuff going on with the Wakely family right now, and again, our thoughts are with them. We talked about it last game. Our thoughts are with them during this time. I know they're affectionately known as Papa Mike is not making the trip up today. He's going to be listening in and watching on the stream stream as well. So when the family can't be here, usually they try to get at least one person in the arena wearing a number 14 jersey. But I think when it comes to Indigenous Youth Day, there's a lot of Wakely supporters in the building today wearing those orange shirts. And also on top of that, Ty Nelson is part of that as well. Part of that, the calling for the Indigenous Youth Day. He's looked good. But Wakely himself, he's had a bit of a rocky start to the season. He did score a goal in Peterborough, and that's one of the things that kind of plagued him a bit last year. As good as his rookie season was, there's a little bit of inconsistency in his game, but we've seen him when he's hot. He's as hot as anyone in the league. He put up like a whole he scored 20 goals last year, but he'd put up like 5 of them in like a 4-game span or something, type of thing, and then he'd go cold for about a month, then he'd turn it back on. So we're just hoping right now that Dallin Wakely kind of turns it on sooner rather than later.
And we sure hope so. When we talk about Indigenous youth, anytime you talk about the Indigenous community, family is at the front and foremost, and exactly as you said with the Wakely family, always being proudly supported by his family, following him around the province as he plays in this OHL, his sophomore season. He's one of the players that the Battalion are looking forward to having a breakout season again.
Exactly. 20 goals. He's obviously got a nose for the net, right, like last year. So, and that's also the best season by a second-round pick since the move to North Bay, point-wise, goal-wise, all that fun stuff. And we've talked about it a lot on here before with Wakely and everything, is that he was a second-round pick, falling to 30th overall with the North Bay Battalion in the 2020 OHL priority selection. And I heard it right from Adam Dennis right away. They were ecstatic that he fell for them. The only issue was that they didn't interview him more than once because they didn't think he was going to be there at 30th. So when it got to about pick 25 and Wakely was still there, they start scrambling on the phone saying, oh my goodness, he's falling to us. What's going on? So they're calling his coaches. They're calling, people that know him. And they're trying to get, a sense of who the person is because they want to bring in a good person as much as they want to bring in a good hockey player. And, of course, he checked off all the boxes. The North Bay Battalion selected him at 30th overall, and he's a player that they thought had top 10 talent in that draft. And it's hard to argue with his output last season as a rookie.
Exactly that. And what you don't see on the ice with Dallin Wakely is the involvement he has within this community, really involved in the Indigenous movement, and so good to see him out in the community. Let's take a quick look at the lineups. The Barrie Colts still have a lot of players that aren't back in the lineup. You have the likes of Evan Burling, Brant Clark, and Arthur Cholak, who are not dressed. And the Barrie Colts are looking at some point to get those players back in the lineup.
Yeah, Brant Clark, he was a top 10 selection, I believe top 5 in the NHL draft. And LA's pretty ecstatic to have him in their system. But, coming back to Barrie, that's going to be a huge get for Barrie with him coming back, and whatnot. And you look at the lineup, and still, Connor Punnett, the local kid, he's up on the top pairing, so that'll be fun to watch. One guy I like to watch a lot is Hunter Height. He really was a thorn in the side of the Battalion last year as a rookie in all the games that we saw against them. So they're still a dangerous team, as evident by yesterday's game. It's just a matter of how dangerous are they going to be today.
I know you mentioned Connor Punnett, the local product from the Calgary area. I had the opportunity to golf with him throughout the summer numerous times. He can sure hit a long golf ball, but he had a lot of high hopes coming into this season and really liked the coaching squad with the Barrie Colts. Let's turn our attention now to the North Bay Battalion. Going with the same lineup, one change on the back end as Cam Govro is going to draw on that third pairing with Wyatt Kennedy as Tanias Mathern is absent from tonight's lineup.
And what a great depth do you have to have someone like Cam Govro, who's essentially your seventh defenseman, right? Tanias Mathern comes back, he gets re-injured. I thought he had a great game, actually, Tanias Mathern in Thursday's game against the 67s. He was getting he started slowly, with his minutes being kind of limited, but he started to activate himself into the rush as the game went on, and he didn't really look the same stay-at-home defenseman as we've been used to, as he's been going up in the rush trying to make offense happen in a game that they sorely needed offense. And to have Cam Govro, who played his way into the lineup last year, also injuries did help with that as well, but played his way into the lineup to the point where he was a consistent producer with the Battalion, a consistent player. To be able to say, Mathern's not in this game, but hey, Cam Govro's back, it's not doesn't feel like the end of the world scenario as it would be on previous Battalion teams. So it'll be interesting. But one player I know we talked about Wakely as our player to watch for the Battalion, but I really want to see more from Justin Ertl as well. He played with a physical edge on Thursday against Ottawa, but at some point, the Dallas Stars prospect has to produce.
It's weird when you talk about Justin Ertl. He played with Cornell last year. College hockey in the States is not the same, or the commitment level is not there as you see in the OHL. I think it's just something that he's just got to make an adjustment to this OHL league and how the speed and the game moves along, and I think he's actually going to catch on, and we're going to see it coming up in the next little bit.
Yeah, I think for sure, like you mentioned, he's going to be the type of guy that once he gets going, he's going to be hard to stop. He's a physically imposing player out there. And again, he's already started throwing around his weight a lot more, which we saw in that 67s game. And there was a couple of hits, and his line, that second line of him, Wakely, and Arnsby, I thought they were a lot of the spark that kind of gave the troops momentum in that second period, that really kind of gave them the gumption to go around and start getting more shots on net on Donoso, but obviously, as we know, ultimately falling short at the end.
Exactly that. And before we take a look at the starting goaltenders, the Battalion have asked us to pass along what is going on for Halloween with the North Bay Battalion. You can come here on Halloween night between 5 and 7, trick or treat with Sarge and the Battalion. Use gate 1 to get in, and make it a spooky evening here at Memorial Gardens as the youngsters can meet Sarge and the Battalion players as they're going to be handing out treats and candy down at gate 1. Let's take a look, as both teams are going to be having their number one goaltenders in the lineup for tonight. One of the questions for the Barrie Colts was who was going to take the goaltending reins after the departure of Max Guzda last year. They found that there was a goaltender down in Sarnia that was not getting the time because of the starter down there in Ben Goudreau. There's a draft pick. They went out and got Anson Thornton, who the Barrie Colts thought was a number one goaltender, and were able to steal him away from the Sarnia Sting. He's going to get the start for the Colts tonight.
Yeah, and I mean, what an embarrassment of riches Sarnia kind of had down there, right? They had two drafted NHL two NHL drafted goaltenders in their system. So going with Ben Gaudreau full time, and of course, as someone who's from this area, it's kind of a bit of a hey, that's cool that Ben Gaudreau gets so much recognition. But yeah, Anson Thornton, he's been the answer to the Barrie Colts, because going into the year, when a lot of people said, hey, Barrie could challenge for the Central Division title like they did last year, a lot of the questions surrounded the goaltending, because Matt Guzda basically picked them up by the scruff when he came into Barrie and said, no, we're going to play a good game here, boys. And he had a really high save percentage now signing, and he parlayed that into an NHL deal with the Florida Panthers. And again, we talk about thorns on the side of the Battalion. Matt Guzda was that for the Barrie Colts last year, because we went to Barrie for the one game before he came, and it was like an 8-goal outburst by the Battalion. Then Matt Guzda comes in, and we're like, okay, now it's going to be like a 1-goal, 2-goal game maybe at best. So Anson Thornton really filling in some big shoes there in Barrie, but he's done a great job in the early going. And
he did well in coming in relief in that Mississauga Steelheads game. Kept it close and allowed the Colts to come back and take that win. He comes in with a 3-2 record, a .233 goals against average, and a .933 save percentage. Those numbers are nothing to cry over. And in goal for the North Bay Battalion is the number one guy for Coach Ryan Houlihan, Dom DeVincentis, getting the start again for the Battalion.
Yeah, Dom DeVincentis, again, we talk about players and how far, the Battalion will go as far as some of these players take them. And I think at this point, it's not like last year where you had a 1A, 1B situation with Joe Verbetic and Dom DeVincentis. It's basically you have a 1 and a 2 right now in Dom DeVincentis and Charlie Robertson. So when it comes to it, Dom DeVincentis, we saw him get hurt maybe in that 67s game. He's back out playing tonight. But if he goes down for an injury, the Battalion are going to be a different-looking team. They do have Mike McIver playing with the U18 Trappers, and all signs point to him being a good goaltender. But Dom DeVincentis, he's that battery that keeps this team going.
Yeah, McIver had a great weekend with the U18 Trappers, only giving up 3 goals in the 3 games he played. But looking at Dom's numbers quickly, he's 4-2 on the season, a .189 goals against average, and a .921 save percentage. Those numbers are right up there with the top-ranked goaltenders in this league, and that's one of the reasons the Winnipeg Jets took a draft pick with him.
Yeah, they're really really happy to get him, and I think honestly with the way that he's played and the way that he can play, I think Winnipeg's going to be very happy with that draft pick for years.
Exactly. And as we get set for the national anthem and pregame ceremonies, we're going to step away for a moment, and on the other side, you'll be joined by Matt Sucrum and Courtney Kinney for all the first period action.
Average Joe's Eatery and Patio Bar is North Bay's only year-round lakefront restaurant. On the shores of beautiful Trout Lake, we have been serving delicious food and stunning views since 1999. Indulge in one of our delicious menu items, or simply sit with a cocktail in hand and watch the beauty of Trout Lake before your eyes. Check us out online at averagejoes.net or visit us in person at 3501 Trout Lake Road, North Bay.
As a Canadore College alumni, you have access to perks. Canadore Alumni Perks. This is a lifetime membership that includes special access to great offers, opportunities to get involved, and so much more. Graduates can access discounts and special offers from businesses and hotels locally, across Canada, and internationally. Get information on special events and news, or access the alumni job portal. Keep in touch with Canadore's alumni office. Visit canadorecollege.ca/perks. Great things happen here.
You rely on your vehicle to take you to the places that matter most to you. So bring your vehicle to the team you can rely on to keep it running at its best. Dave's Automotive Services. Whether you're getting your car or truck ready for the season with a tire change, making sure you're safe on the road with an inspection and certification, or doing your due diligence to keep your vehicle in tip-top shape with regular maintenance, Dave's Automotive Services has you covered. Expert troubleshooting, quality repairs, and time-efficient labor are the 3 stars of service you can expect when you bring your car or truck to Dave's Automotive Services at 411 Airport Road. Call 705-478-5544 and book your appointment today.
The Frontline Podcast, Season 3. Courtney Kenny, Matthew Sucrum, Derek Lindemann, Bob Coles, and Ben Long bring you closer to your favorite teams like never before. Covering everything to do with hockey in the North Bay area, exclusive interviews with the North Bay Battalion staff and players, expert analysis on the OHL, NOJHL, and more, keeping you up to date on all things Voodoos, Trappers, Lakers, and more. It's a new season, it's a new adventure. The Frontline Podcast Season 3. Available wherever you download your favorite podcasts.
And we're just going through a pregame ceremony here with the ceremonial puck drop with Dallin Wakely out there doing the puck drop for the Battalion before we get to the O Canada here performed at Memorial Gardens.
And taking the puck drop alongside him for the Barrie Colts was Josh Kavanagh, another he's from Hanmer, Ontario, and a member of the Indigenous group there. And Josh Kavanagh coming over to the Barrie Colts in a trade earlier this August, so it meant a lot for him to be involved in this game today. And now we'll listen in to O Canada.
Chantal Leroy of the Anishinaabe Police Service for our national anthem.
Terre de nos aïeux,
getting ready for the first official puck drop of this game here between the North Bay Battalion and the Barrie Colts on this Sunday afternoon, our first Sunday in the Gardens, which kind of makes it feel like this regular season is officially here, even though it has been a little while, Matt, but coming here on a Sunday at 2 o'clock, it just feels like it's right, and hockey is back after a very stirring rendition of O Canada here.
Yeah, goosebumps certainly felt throughout the building on that, as it is Indigenous Day here at the Memorial Gardens. And I was talking to George Cucci, who's a former OPP officer and a member of Nipissing First Nation, and George was telling me that they've been able to bring in, or they had planned to bring in 1,200 Indigenous youth and families to today's game from around the North Bay area. So pretty exciting when we can involve all these different groups here into what we do every Sunday and Thursday, and that's battalion hockey.
Absolutely, and lots of orange shirts to go around as well in the rink. And as we mentioned, even though the Wakely family is not necessarily here with us today, Dallin Wakely's still getting all the support and admiration here in the crowd with all the orange jerseys out on the ice. And even George Cucci posted on Facebook the other day, Dallin Wakely's his favorite player on the battalion. So hard to argue with that one. He's definitely one of my top favorite players on the troops as well.
Should be a good one, though, today. The North Bay Battalion trying to overcome a loss to the Peterborough Petes on Thursday night, while the Barrie Colts had a stunning comeback against the Mississauga Steelheads yesterday. Down 5-2 in the third period with 8 minutes to play, and the Barrie Colts stormed back to win 6-5. But here's Arnsby right off the draw, fires it, his shot stopped, and then a second chance on the far side post gets denied. Some quick work in net by Thornton of the Barrie Colts. Sent around to the far side boards. Arnsby is there. Shoves it over to Wakely. Right into the chest of Thornton. And he holds on to it for a stoppage in play. 27 seconds in, no score here in North Bay.
And Dallin Wakely coming out with a very quick start here in this one. You have to think he's going to be amped up to go in this one. He always seems to be able to put the puck in the net at opportune times, as he got 2 chances on that shift. I mean, he goes to Peterborough, basically the closest thing to a home barn that he has, and talks to the announcer and says, "I can't wait for you to announce a goal that I score." And sure enough, Dallin Wakely scores a goal in that game. And the battalion Wakely trying to get things going off to a fast start here for the troops in this one as well.
The battalion lost 4-2 to the Peterborough Petes, as this one is called icing against the... This one is called icing against the Barrie Colts. Yes, it was the 67s that were in town on Thursday, not the Peterborough Petes. And for large periods of that game, the 67s were really in control. Yes, the battalion did get 2 goals in that third period, but by all accounts and measures, that game was pretty much over by the time they did score. So, looking to get off to a good start here against the Barrie Colts.
Good start is going to be imperative for sure, but as I mentioned to Derek in the pregame show, the Barrie Colts have proved that no lead is safe in this one.
Winslow across the blue line to Nelson. Feeds it to the hash marks. That is Petrov. He goes into the corner looking for McDonald. It's off his stick. Picked up by Punnett. And Punnett stops it behind the net, but then it comes out in front. And the battalion got a quick shot away, but they couldn't get it right on net. Sent down the ice out of the zone. Winslow has it behind the net. Now he turns it over, but DiVincente's quick on that one. And the battalion going back the other way. McDonald into the zone on the right side. Up ahead. Winslow can't get a shot off. It's Jackson on the near side boards. He feeds it in behind the net to Petrov. His shot off the side of the net. Petrov gets it back. Jackson from behind the net centering. That's blocked by the Colts. Trying to clear. Petrov keeps it in at the blue line. His shot blocked in the slot. Picked up on the near side by Frasca, and he'll get out of the zone with it. Frasca fires it down the ice. It's deflected off his stick. Picked up by Govro. He sends it up to the right side boards in the North Bay zone to Tarasevich. He plays it to the middle of Podolou and sends it down the left wing for Van Steensel. Van Steensel through the neutral zone, dumps it into the Barrie end. It's on the half boards to Tarasevich. It's now at the line. He flips it back in, and behind the net, Tiller will chase it. Tiller holds it behind the net for the Barrie Colts. 2 minutes into this game, no score. Barrie looking to break out of the zone. That's Aitchison with it. Through the neutral zone, his pass is picked off. North Bay had it. North Bay give it right back to Chisholm. Playing on the top line left wing today. He gets knocked off the puck, but he gets it back, tried to go to the net. Then he's stopped again. The puck bouncing off the boards, and it's picked up by Tarasevic. He finds Van Steensel in the neutral zone. Try to get it back to Tarasevic. It's out of his reach, and it goes in behind the net. Picked up in the far side corner by Chisholm. Knocked off his stick behind the net, Tiller. He gets knocked into the boards, and it's Romani who has it on the half boards for the Battalion. Romani skates to the middle, can't get the shot away as the defense collapse around him, and the Colts get it out of the zone. 2:30 in, no score in this game as it's brought back in by Cardwell. On the right side boards, his pass is picked off by Christopoulos, and the Battalion defender gets it up ahead to Sema. Sema going in with Romani, who is a step ahead of him over the blue line, and offside will be called.
And one thing about the troops that we see in this one is, we talk about Indigenous Youth Day, and Dom DiVincentis went out for warm-up with his orange tape on. He has orange tape still on his stick. A lot of the players that had the orange tape on their sticks in the warm-up have changed back to their regular whites or blacks. But good to see DiVincentis keeping with the orange.
Fired back into the Barrie zone, around to the far side boards. That's Cooper Matthews. Sent down the ice, 2-on-1, quickly in the zone, the chance on net, and it's denied. DiVincentis getting over to his glove side post just in time as Ronik Jodwin was barreling down on him. North Bay get it out over the blue line. Stolen back, Jodwin has it for the Colts in the neutral zone. 16:45 to go in the period as Jodwin brings it back in on the right wing side. Plays it toward the net, it's off a skate, redirected at DiVincentis, who covers it up for an easy save.
Who do you think Jodwin's favorite player, or parents' favorite player was when they were naming him?
Jeremy Roenick had to be, right?
I mean, if it's
His
anyone
name is
else.
Roenick Jodwin.
If it's anyone else, I mean, you really missed the mark on that one, right? Like, so, what a neat, like, it's a different last name, right? But it's kind of a neat name to have as your first name as well.
Absolutely. The Colts win the draw inside the North Bay zone. Tried to center it, broken up, but sent around the end boards. Back to the point, that's Punnett. To the middle, Haight sends it to the far side corner. Picked up there by Jelsma, who had 3 points in last night's win over Mississauga. But his play to the middle is broken up, and North Bay escaped the zone. 16:15 to go in the first period, no score. Arnsby has control of the puck for the Battalion. In his own end, he finds Lukin, who sends it up to Ertl. Ertl deflects it into the zone, and he's chasing Punnett. Sent to the far side boards. The puck stopped at the blue line. Christopoulos sends it back to the hash marks for Ertl. Ertl skates to the blue line, takes a shot in. It's caught up in some sticks right in the slot, and it's the Colts who get out of the zone with it. Chisholm turns it over. 2-on-1 in the zone. It's Petrov on the left wing. Petrov drops it to Winslow to the right side. McDonald! A check that Jackson shot is stopped by the goaltender Thornton. And now the Colts on the return. There's a shot off DiVincentis' pads, but it's redirected to the near side boards, and the Battalion get it out of the zone. McDonald up over the blue line to Nelson. Nelson going forward, but taken off the puck by Tiller. It goes to the corner. That's where McDonald picks it up for the Battalion. He sends it to the near side boards. That's Petrov out there now. Petrov tried to center that. It got blocked by Haight, and Hunter Haight gets it out ahead to Aitchison, who finds Frasca, dumping it into the North Bay zone. Frasca throwing Winslow into the boards, but Winslow's able to kick it over to his defense partner Nelson, and the former first-round draft pick for the Battalion is able to get it out of the zone. It's into the Colts end with 14:50 to play in the first period, and it's brought back down the ice by the Colts in the slot. There's a shot right in on DiVincentis, and he covers it up for a stoppage in play. No score with 14:45 remaining.
Troops getting a good chance at one end, basically going on a 3-on-1 with Winslow, Jackson, and Petrov. They're just not able to get the puck in the back of the net and beat Thornton on that one. And one thing, I talked to Avery Winslow very briefly after the last game, made a joke about how he must feel more aerodynamic after cutting off his hair, but then he says, you know what, for the first time in over a year, my hip hasn't been bothering me while I've been skating, and that's good to see, as we've seen him join the rush so many times this year. I mean, last game against the 67s, him and Nelson went down on a 2-on-1 as two defensemen. Come on.
Lemieux shot over the glove of DiVincentis and into the back of the net. And Ian Lemieux opens the scoring for the Colts. It's 1-0 on his second goal of the season.
Going to be interesting to see or hear from DiVincentis on that one, on if he didn't see it at all, but it almost looked like a knuckle puck coming in on the first view of it, as Lemieux let it go quickly on the one-timer. and it just hopped over DiVincentis' glove. Maybe he got a piece of it. I'm not sure, but either way, as a goaltender, you want to have that one, especially coming from the point.
Ian Lemieux, originally drafted by the Saginaw Spirit in the 6th round, 105th overall in 2018, got traded to the Barrie Colts in the 2019 season. Last year had 19 points in 66 games for the left shot defender out of Midland, Ontario. Up to 2 goals this season now for Lemieux. And it seems like the Colts are mandated to have a Lemieux on their team, aren't they?
Just like Peterborough and Robertson.
That's it. North Bay now going back on the counterattack. 14 minutes to go in the first period. It's 1-0 for the Colts. Fed below the goal line. And it's the Colts who control. It's Kavanaugh bringing it out of the zone, dumping it into the North Bay end. Cardwell there in the corner. Shovels it around to the far side boards. Chisholm looking to pick it up. Christopoulos throws him into the boards. And picking up the loose puck is Tarasevic. He comes down the right wing side up to the red line, dumps it down, bouncing right towards the goaltender Thornton, who punches it off his blocker and now leaves it behind the net for Akey. He gets it over to Punnett, who dumps it into the North Bay zone. Jodwin going towards the puck. Tries to send it back to the blue line. It's blocked by Romani, who gets it up to Sema. Sema dangles around a defender, lifts it up and scores! Nick Sema with a highlight reel goal for his first of the season, and the Battalion have tied it at 1.
Nick Sema scoring, like you mentioned, a highlight reel goal. And last year he showed, that he was scratching the surface of the potential of being a second-round pick in the 2021 OHL priority selection, and just making the Barrie Colts look silly on that, as they couldn't get the puck off his stick, and he basically went in all by himself, scoring that one. And basically looking at his line mate Anthony Romani in last game and saying, anything you can do, I can do better. Although Anthony Romani's goal was very nice against the 67s.
It certainly was. Nick Sema, first goal of the season for the second-round draft pick for the Battalion in 2021. He had 4 goals last year, so he's certainly looking to improve upon that number. But I think he'll easily surpass that if he keeps up that kind of play. And here's Matthews now for the Colts. Tiller to Lemieux. His shot blocked by Sema. So goes out and scores a goal, then gets down and dirty and blocks a shot from the point. And now Sema looks to get it out of the zone. His pass to Kennedy just missed Kennedy's stick, but he's able to flip it out into the neutral zone for the Captain Arnsby. 12:30 to play in the first period. 1-1 between the Battalion and the Colts. And the Colts moving the puck back down the left wing side. That is Ty York. He gets knocked down by Ty Nelson. Different spelling, though, than Ty York. And he sends it around to the near side. At the blue line, York knocked down again. Winslow gets it back for North Bay. Out of the zone, it's Erdl going down the left wing side. Back into the North Bay zone. Jelsma to York. He can't get the shot off. Down the point, Akey. Akey fires it in. Blocked. Now it's right on net. DiVincentis finds it as he comes out just outside of the blue paint. And he gobbles it up for a stoppage and play. 1-1 the score with 11:56 to go. And as we were just saying, Nick Sema, last year just the 4 goals seemed like he probably should have been rewarded for a few more after all his hard work. But I think he's going to surpass that total easily this year.
Oh, for sure. I mean, he's off to a better start already. Last year it took him a while to get his first OHL goal, but he's here right now already with 1 goal within the first actual month of playing. And basically coming out with a highlight reel goal as your first goal of the season. I mean, you can't get much better than that. And he's quite the agitating player as well, so he can hurt you in a lot of ways.
Petrov coming out of his own zone with the puck. Cross-zone pass, tried to find Jackson, but just couldn't get it to him. And now it's Frasca leading the charge on the other end. 1-on-2 into the zone. He gets it over to Hank. The cross-ice pass is just wide of the net as it came onto the stick of Bo Aki. And then he redirected it just wide. Play continues now inside the North Bay zone with 11:15 on the clock. It's Aki at the point. Tries to dump it in. Petrov blocks it. Now it's Shipped along the end boards, picked up there by Christopoulos of the Battalion, and sent out of the zone and down the ice. 11 minutes to play in the first period. 1-1 the score. Sent into the North Bay zone and picked up quickly by Winslow. Down the right wing side, check that Kennedy runs into the official going in the zone, but North Bay maintain possession. Govro sends it on net. It's past the net. It goes off the end boards to the half boards on the far side. Now down the point, Ponalu fires it in. Off the stick of the goaltender Thornton, who redirects it over the glass and out of play. 10:32 to go in the first period. 1-1 the score.
4-3, the shots on goal now in favor of the Barrie Colts, so both goaltenders buckling a little bit. Actually 4-4 because they wanted to make me look silly and they changed it after I said that. So both goaltenders so far making 3 saves and both goals. Tough break maybe for DiVincentis, but a great goal by Nick Sema on the other end.
Playback underway as the Colts win the draw. Now they're trying to get it out of their own zone. Cardwell with a pass to the far side, and that puck will get out of the Colts' end. Picked up by Winslow, who takes a hard hit. Sent down into the North Bay zone. Picked up by Nelson. Down the right wing side for Sema. Sema coming down in through the zone. Sema going towards the net. Wraparound chance, and it's denied. And then the rebound comes up to the blue line. Sema's there again. Tries to fire it into the zone. It's off the half boards to the stick of Romani, who takes a shot from the circle, and it's wide of the net. Played back into the corner. North Bay still in control in the offensive zone. Sema's there again. At the top of the circle, shot, but too much traffic in front. Loose puck picked up by Cardwell. He carries it behind the net, and he'll look to escape the Barrie zone as the Colts bring the puck through. Cardwell coming into the attacking end, takes a shot, but interference will be the call here as we've reached the mid-period break. 1-1 the score.
This period is brought to you by Canada Alumni Perks. Get information on special events and news or access the alumni job portal. Visit canadacollege.ca/perks for more information.
So when we get back into action here, the Battalion are going to find themselves in...
Wiggle going to the box.
Yeah. Okay, so on that note, the Battalion will be going on the power play. And so far this year, they're 5 for 30 on the year, 16.7%. That's good for 15th in the league, and we've seen that number tumble since they got off the road. They were in the top 5 originally. Now they're in the bottom 5 of the league. Barrie's penalty kill, 3 for 20. They've allowed 3 goals on 20 attempts, 85%. They're 6th best in the league. So it'll be the 15th ranked power play against the 6th ranked penalty kill here going on.
So a big opportunity for the Battalion to jump ahead and get their first lead of the game. It was Ian Lemieux opening the scoring at 5:19. Just over a minute later, Nick Sema tied it. And now the Battalion on the power play for the first time. Nelson to the right side, McDonald. McDonald's pass in the middle, goes off a stick, up in the air, corralled back by North Bay at the blue line, sent to the far side boards, picked up by the Colts, and they'll escape the zone. Rizzolia coming down the left wing, now sends it on net, blocked by the Battalion defense in front of their net. Oh, and Nelson and Frasca collide. Neither player looking in front of themselves, and they just found each other in the middle of the North Bay zone, but both players get up and look to be okay. As play continues, Jackson in front of his own net with, looks like Aki there, trying to battle in for the puck check like Grizzolia, but Jackson's able to get the puck away from him, and it's sent up ahead to Nelson coming into the zone, drags it around to his left side, goes behind the net in the Barrie zone, tries to feed it to the point, but basically gives it away. But North Bay get it back. Erdl sends it on net. There's a chance, and it's sent away by the defense of the Battalion, of the Colts. 50 seconds remaining in the penalty to Wiggle with 8:15 to go in the first period of this 1-1 game. Romani bringing the puck down the left wing side. Drops back to Van Steensel. Now Winslow. To the left side, that's Wakely at the top of the circle. Down low to the goal line to Arnsby. Arnsby tries to play back in the middle to Wakely. but it's too hot for him to handle. It goes off his stick, picked up by Haight, and he carries it down the ice into the North Bay zone. He'll hold it in the corner, trying to kill some time on the man advantage for the Battalion, but they get it away from him, and it's North Bay going back out of the zone. Arnsby leading the charge. He sends it to the corner to Wakely in the Barrie zone. Finds Van Steensel in the circle. Van Steensel puts it on net. Thornton at the post, turns it aside, sent to the point to Winslow. Winslow across to the left side, Wakely. Wakely fires it, blocked, and he gets it back, a chance, and he scores! Dahlin delivers! It's 2-1 North Bay.
And just knowing everything that he's going through currently and whatnot, and especially here on Indigenous Youth Day, to see Dallin Wakely put one in the back of the net, he was our player to watch, or he is our player to watch for the North Bay Battalion, and you can't help but feel good for the kid on that one, and almost brings a bit of a tear to my eye right now, kind of watching him put that goal in. He comes up in the big moments. He knows how to get, how to be clutch for his team, and we talked about him in the pregame show about how once he gets going, he's tough to stop, and great goal by Dallin Wakely, and not much more I can say about the kid. Just really happy for him in this moment.
Second goal of the season for Wakely. He had 20 a year ago to go along with 34 points. I don't know if it's going to count as a power play goal. There was about 2 seconds left when he got the shot off, so we'll have to wait and see if they count it as a power play goal. But either way, the player in the box had not yet gotten back into the zone, and it's the Battalion up 2-1 as Cardwell fires it over the glass and out of play with 7:01 remaining in period number 1.
So the goal will officially be unassisted for Wakely, and it's not a power play goal, as you mentioned, but Thornton really kind of not really paying attention on that one, and Wakely got off a quick shot as Thornton thought his guys had it before Wakely stripped the Colts of the puck in their own zone. So basically Thornton there kind of caught watching up ice, seeing where his players are going with that, and next thing he knows, the puck's being shot at him. And to his credit, he almost made the save, just he was too far back into his net.
North Bay out of the zone. They are coming in. Van Steensel with a shot. That got blocked. I don't think he got all of that one coming into the left side circle. And now it's the Barrie Colts trying to get the puck out of the zone. They play to the right side corner. Now to the circle. Van Steensel can't get a shot up, but he gets the pass behind the net. Tarasevich carries it in front, takes a shot, stopped. Now it's Podolou behind the net for North Bay. Plays it into the left side circle. It's taken away by Cardwell of the Colts. And Cardwell will calm things down in his own zone and just slowly carries it to the far side boards. And now he'll walk out of the zone with it. Down the ice, trying to go against the entire unit of the troops out there. And they finally push him off the puck on the near side boards, and that's Petrov who ends up with it. 6 minutes to go as he plays it behind the net. 2-1 North Bay lead as it's Petrov back on the puck. He can't get it off the boards though. It's Jodwin who steals it. Jodwin going into the net, and he's pushed off the side now. A chance in front, denied by DiVincentis. They get a third chance from the slot, and that's stopped as well. Up in the air, down at the point. Akey has it across to the left side circle. Punnets there, takes a shot, stopped in the slot. It's turned aside by the Battalion defense. And the troops try to clear it, stopped at the blue line. Petrov knocks down Akey, and he's going to get called for it. 5:39 to go. Tripping is the call. Battalion will be shorthanded for the first time tonight.
So we gave you the Battalion's power play and the Colts PK, so we'll give you the Colts power play this year. It hasn't been clicking as well with like the Battalion. 4 for 25 coming into this game at 16%. That is also 16th in the league. On the penalty kill, the Battalion have allowed 5 goals on 30 chances. That's good for 83.3%, and that's 7th in the league. So both these teams right next to each other when it comes to the standings of special teams coming into this game.
And we knew the special teams were going to be a big factor in the game against the Ottawa 67s on Thursday, and it certainly was. And we'll see how much of a factor it plays in tonight's contest. As the Battalion, they're 0 for 1 on their only opportunity. And now trying to kill off this one here against the Colts as it's sent out of the ice. Erdl gets to the loose puck at the Barrie blue line. From the corner, he feeds Arnsby in front of the net, but Arnsby was coming in a little too fast and just could not stop and get a shot off with that puck. 5 minutes to play in the first period. 2-1 North Bay lead, but they're down by a man on the ice. Cardwell carries to the far side, finds Lemieux at the point, the goal scorer of the game so far for the Colts. He sends it to Wiggle at the half boards, back to the top to Lemieux. Now Wiggle just above the circle, and his pass back to Lemieux is too far out of his reach, and he has to chase it all the way back into the Colt zone with 4.5 to play now in the first period. The Colts looking to even this thing up. They trail 2-1. It's Matthews coming through the zone. He finds Chisholm just at the blue line. Chisholm pressured on the boards. Sends it behind the net. Kennedy gets there but can't clear. Kept in the zone by Lemieux. To the left side board. Sent on net. Big save by DiVincentis as he throws out the left side pad and keeps the puck out of the net. It's into the corner. Kennedy's there with 25 seconds to go on the penalty kill for North Bay. Couple guys digging away at it. Nelson sent it to the point, and that was Lemieux. Blocked it. Finds Matthews above the circle on the right side. Now he skates to the point. He finds Lemieux. One-time shot save made by DiVincentis. The rebound comes back out to the hash marks. Picked up by Lemieux. He sends it to the left side. The shot save made by DiVincentis. Picked up by Sema. Off the knee of Lemieux. Kept in the zone, but out of the box is Petrov. Jelsma loses it. And Petrov will get it up ahead to Sema. Going in one-on-one in the zone. Sema's shot is stopped by Punnett. 3:25 to go in this period as Sema takes a high hit behind the goal line. 2-1 North Bay lead, and they are now 1-for-1 on the penalty kill as Jelsma brings it back into the North Bay zone for the Colts. Knocked off his stick. Sent back out to the neutral zone. Twisting and turning was Jodwin, and he almost got run over by Jackson as the puck is sent back into the North Bay end. Nelson, stretch pass. He got it up to McDonald, who's behind the defense, but it went off his knee and redirected to the near side boards where Petrov picks it up. He sends it to the far side corner to McDonald. McDonald moving down the half boards, finds Jackson in the circle. His shot is blocked by the goaltender Thornton. Jackson picks it up to the line. Nelson feeds it below the goal line to Petrov. He carries it around to the left side of the zone, into the circle, goes back up top to Winslow. Winslow feeds it back around the end boards for McDonald. McDonald with a wraparound chance. Thornton stuffs that out and sits on the puck for stoppage and play. 2:30 to go in the first. 2-1 North Bay.
Very eventful first period, like one would think in a rivalry game between the Colts and the Battalion. These two teams met many times in the past here at Memorial Gardens and, of course, down in Barrie. And a couple of run-ins in Barrie, of course, in those games as well. But we've all been able to take in a game in Barrie, although some uneventful compared to others. But these two teams, yeah, they have a long history of not liking each other, but the Battalion have the early edge in this one, up 2-1.
First divisional contest for the Battalion this season, and it'll be one of just 3 times they play a division opponent in the first 6 weeks of the season. They head out on a western road trip after today's game, Windsor, London, and Guelph. Then they'll host Niagara and then head to Hamilton and Erie. Then they'll play Guelph again the following Thursday before heading to Barrie. So there you go. Barrie, Niagara, and Barrie are their only divisional opponents through the first 6 weeks of the season.
Should make for an interesting stretch run when the points really come into play.
Absolutely.
Towards the back half of the season for sure.
These two teams played each other 10 times last year. North Bay went 5-3-1-1, and Barrie went 5-4-1. So it was pretty evenly matched up between these two Central Division rivals. Sent down the ice. Wakely gets to it to avoid the icing call. Puts it on net. Bouncing around in front of the goaltender Thornton. It's loose. He's on the ice, but the puck is steered away from the goal scoring area. Now Cardwell down the other way for the Colts. Coming in on the left side. Alexander Lukin with a poke check on the back check to deny a paycheck from Cardwell. And it's precision going in on the left side. Drops it to Erdl. His shot off the blocker. Rebound out to Winslow on the blue line. Carried in on the right wing side. Now into the corner. Now to the left side of the zone. Down to Nelson. Nelson's shot is blocked, but he gets it back. Skates in left side circle. Cuts to the middle. He's tripped going into the slot. No call coming as the Colts clear it out of the zone. 1:20 to go in the first period. A hit thrown, denying the Colts of entering the attacking zone with control of the puck. 2-1 the score as North Bay tries to get it out of the zone. Fired right back in. Sent on net and steered aside. Romani with the puck on the near side. Sent around to the far side to Nelson. Nelson gets it up ahead to Sema, who finds Precision. Precision over to Winslow. Winslow with control of it in the Colt zone at the blue line. He fires it to the far side corner. Picked up over there by Lemieux. Lemieux plays it behind the net to Punnett. Punnett to McDonald. And McDonald back to Punnett on the far side, and they dump it down the ice. Chased into the zone. That's Kennedy for the Battalion with 35 seconds left to play in the period. He gets it up ahead to Petrov, who dumps it down. Thornton behind the net. Steers it out to the near side boards. Petrov trying to keep it alive in the zone. It's knocked past him and out of the zone. In the neutral zone, Christopoulos knocks it down, gets it over to the far side to his Battalion defense mate Kennedy. Kennedy turns it over, but gets it back quickly just behind the blue line to find McDonald. McDonald carries it behind his own net with 5 seconds left in the period. Sends it out ahead to Petrov. It's knocked off his stick. Gets it back in the neutral zone, and that will be the end of the first period. The Battalion go down by a goal, but they get back too quickly thanks to Dalton Wakely's second of the season and Nick Sema's first to round out the scoring.
Yeah, a bit of a back and forth period, of course, but the Battalion turning it on in the back half. Nick Sema with that highlight reel goal, and then Dalton Wakely again. Or how appropriate is it that he scores on a goal on a day like today? And like I said, they say, how can you not be romantic about baseball? How can you not be romantic about hockey at this point? So that'll do it for these 20 minutes here on the front line, and we'll be back after this.
Meals are a special time for families to gather, share their day, and spend quality time together. Those dinners are made extra special when you add tropical produce found in the markets and grocery stores that carry La Huerta imports. La Huerta knows the importance of family, so they know which quality products make the best quality meals for your customers, whether it be Mexican Hass avocados, Brazilian figs, Ecuadorian red dragon fruit, or something just as exotic and special. To get your supply of the best tropical produce at competitive prices with brands buyers trust, contact La Huerta Imports at 705-752-1478.
Community engagement is one of our core focuses at McDonald's. The key is finding the right people who are passionate about the same things we are, helping kids be kids. McDonald's proudly supports local organizations such as the North Bay Regional Health Center Foundation, Big Brothers Big Sisters, One Kids Place, the Children's Aid Society, and Ronald McDonald House Charities. Stop by McDonald's on 1500 Fisher Street, North Bay, to see how we can serve you and the community every day.
Hey there, I'm Mike the Financial Advisor. When you strip it down to its core and you take away all the industry jargon, I help people solve financial concerns. So if you're concerned that you'll never save enough to retire comfortably, or that your kid is going to graduate post-secondary $40,000 in debt, or maybe even that life is going to take a really unfortunate sideways turn and somebody is going to have to open a GoFundMe page for you and your family, I can help you prevent all of those things from happening. If you want to see how, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Just do a search for Mike the Financial Advisor. You should find me.
And welcome back to the first intermission here from Memorial Gardens. I am Derek Lindemann, and I'm going to have the rundown first of this first period. Opening up the scoring at 5:19, Ian Lemieux got the Barrie Colts on the board with his second of the year. Cardwell and Chisholm picking up the assist on that goal. Just over a minute later, though, Nick Sema with a great individual effort at the 6:43 mark. Romani picking up the assist on Sema's first goal of the season, and then Dalen Wakely, his second of the season, gave the North Bay Battalion a 2-1 lead at 12:34. Each team picking up a penalty in that first period. Zach Wiggle went off for interference at 10:32 for the Barrie Colts, and Matvey Petrov tripping at 14:21. Neither team were able to score on their only power play opportunity. Looking at the shots on goal, the Barrie Colts 7 in that first period, the North Bay Battalion 8, and in the face-off dot, the Barrie Colts dominating, winning 12 of the 15 face-offs. So there we have it. That's the scoring summary of that first period. One other game currently going on in the OHL this afternoon. The Sudbury Wolves lead the Ottawa 67s 1-0 after one period of play. Then a little bit later at 4:05, the Windsor Spitfires host the Niagara Ice Dogs, and at 6:05, the Oshawa Generals host the Kingston Frontenacs. Earlier this month, the Frontline podcast crew sat down with Liam Arnsby. Let's have a little audio from that now.
And without further ado, he's back for his second tour of duty. I think the last time we had him on was probably around this time last year as well. And I told him at the end of the season, I threatened him. I said, we're going to have to get you back on the podcast. He's finally here. The captain of your North Bay Battalion, Liam Arnsby. Welcome back to the podcast, Liam.
Pleasure to have me.
So let's start things off hot. Let's not even talk about the battalion. Let's talk about the summer for you, because the last time I personally talked to you was just before the NHL draft, and you weren't sure where you were going to go. You were excited, but as we know, you've been drafted. You've been away at camp, and you've been with the Florida Panthers. What's that like?
It's been crazy, as you said. At the end of the year, didn't really know, and even since the end of the year, it's been super busy. The combine, had the draft, and dev camp, and I really only had like a month to myself to train and whatnot. So enjoyed those times, and then, as you said, went on to camp. Had a great experience there. Meeting all the guys, practicing what it's like to be an NHL player. That was cool. And I got an exhibition game at the end, so that was pretty cool.
When it comes to something like that, where it's like a team like Florida, it's not like, going from your home to North Bay, it's not realistically that far from home to North Bay, but going to Florida, I've only been to Florida once in my life, and it was to Orlando, and it was a long bus ride. So I'm sure you took a plane, but what's it like having to go, that far for an NHL camp?
Honestly, it didn't really it was only like a 3-hour plane ride, right? So, it didn't really feel too crazy, but the one thing was just being by the beach the whole time. It didn't feel like, it was hard to almost dial it in, how pretty it was around me, but you got used to it, obviously, as time went on.
So what's something at camp that kind of surprised you, that maybe caught you off guard, that you didn't expect to see there?
I guess there's a lot. I guess an obvious one would be how fast it really is. You watch it on TV, it's like, yeah, they look fast or whatever, but when you're actually there, perfect execution, everything's 110%. It was insane.
How does that, so now that you've, sorry, Ben, I'll give you a chance here in a sec, but I just off that thought, how does that help you when you come back here and now you're playing, OHL speed of hockey?
Couple of things. I thought, obviously practicing at that tempo for over a couple of weeks, my conditioning got up obviously a lot. And I think playing with those guys, it's going to feel like it's a bit slowed down almost now. So that'll be cool.
The draft itself, I know you said you didn't really know where you were going to go. What's it like being there? I know you didn't necessarily go that high in the draft, but just to get drafted, being in the experience, having all that around you, what's it like to finally hear your name called after waiting all that time, kind of thing?
It was great. It was such a cool experience. Even just to go there, it was nuts. Especially in Montreal, the fans were super passionate. Funny thing, they're booing Bettman the whole time, so that was pretty funny. But obviously, I ended up getting drafted, and it was a dream come true since I've been a kid.
Now, we all know how, the first round goes. You see all the pomp and ceremony and all that stuff. But do you yourself get to go up and meet Bettman and everything too, or is that just a day one first round type of thing?
No, that's just a day one. But so then I'm pretty sure, I don't think the second or third rounds do it or go up on stage. But after that, you just go down to the table. You kind of walk past all the tables and then shake hands with everyone at the table, and that was pretty cool.
Did you give anybody the Shane Wright stink eye?
No, I did not.
Go ahead, Ben. Sorry.
Yeah. So, how much of as a kid that grew up playing hockey in Canada myself, obviously I can imagine how much of a exciting day that is. But who's the first person that you're like, oh, this is who I want to talk to? Is it like a sibling or a cousin or a parent, or who was the first person that came to your mind when you heard you were drafted?
I guess my parents. Obviously without them, I wouldn't be able to do it. So I thought I'd just thank them very much for everything they've done.
Yeah.
Making the trip to Montreal and whatnot with the draft, do you remember anything about actually taking in Montreal, or was it all just such a blur being there the couple of days?
Like we did like a little bit of sightseeing, but it kind of just went by like that, like pretty nervous, like, I don't know, kind of really thinking about the draft, like, what happens if I go here, what happens if I don't go, so I mean, it was a bit of a blur, but I don't know, it was pretty cool.
And welcome back to Memorial Gardens. At this time, I want to welcome in Courtney Kenny for the remaining of the first intermission, brought to you on the game day broadcast. What a great interview there with Liam Arnsby. You and Ben Long were able to conduct that. Frontline Podcast doing amazing things promoting this team. And then further on by doing the game day broadcast. Courtney, what a great initiative by you and your friends.
Thank you so much, Derek. And of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention you helping us along as well as the host and sometimes play-by-play, sometimes color guy. You're basically jack of all trades here on the front line. And of course, shout out to Ben Long for being my color guy in Powassan the other day while you guys were busy with Nipissing Lakers hockey. And Chris Dawson as well from Bay Today, which we'll hear from him later on in this game, but helping out with the Trappers games and, really trying to give voice to these players in North Bay and area, and we're hopefully doing some stuff with the Ice Bulls at some point, and we're going to talk, obviously, Lady Lakers next weekend. Who they got their season off to a start as well. So it's been fun trying to promote these teams, trying to get butts in the seats, so to speak, and really try to again give voice to some of these players and help out. And, it's the one thing as we see, like as you've done before, you've done the intermission interviews with the players. They don't really seem like they want to be there sometimes, right? Especially like say you're down like 5-0, and they just want to get back into the room and think about the task at hand. The nice thing about the podcast is they're doing it from the comfort of their own room, and they're able to just talk and be comfortable and stuff. And one thing I have to say is Ben Long, who's helped out on a few episodes now, as I continuously look for not necessarily but go through a revolving door of co-hosts this season. Ben likes to disarm them a little bit with some funny questions, and so we found out that Liam Arnsby can drive a stick shift, and that's something that not all of us on the front line can do. So
I can say I can.
It sounds like Matt and I are the only guys who can. I'm starting to think I need to walk away from this one.
Well, it has been a busy weekend for the frontline guys. Thursday night we were here watching the Ottawa 67s defeat the North Bay Battalion 4-2. You were on the other hand of a victory in Powassan that evening as the Voodoos defeated the Kirkland Gold Miners.
Yeah, that was, or as a certain website in town called it, the Kirkland Lake Gold Miners beating the Powassan Gold Miners. So somebody needs to look at their editor a little bit on that one. But yes, the Voodoos coming out against the Kirkland Lake Gold Miners on Friday. They looked a little flat at first. There were some issues, or maybe not some issues, but some soft goals that made its way past the Voodoos goaltender Cannon Flageau that hopefully can be rectified moving forward. But at the end, the Voodoos were able to come out with it, and once again, not that I'm trying to get my head too big for the doorway, but the front line being the highlight of the night on the NOJHL YouTube page, so we'll take it on that one. But you guys as well, we had to split up the frontline crew this weekend, and you guys had to do a Lakers game while we were doing a Voodoos game.
Unfortunately, the Lakers fell twice this weekend too. The Trois-Rivières Patriots, the team that won the U Cup last year for the Canadian University, but the Lakers did hold in there, losing 3-2 and then 6-3 on Saturday. But let's get back to the game at hand here as the North Bay Battalion lead the Barrie Colts 2-1 through 20 minutes. The player that stood out for me the most and skated his butt off in that first period was Nick Sema.
Yeah, Nick Sema with a highlight reel goal. We're going to see that one played again at some point. Basically, as I said to Matt at the time, looking at his line mate Anthony Romani from the game before and saying, anything you can do, I can do better. Albeit, Romani's goal was pretty sweet against the 67s, just came at a point in time when the game was already over with. But Sema basically just walking in there, and nobody could get him off the puck, and just basically said, nope, this is what I'm going to do. And the Colts said, okay, thanks.
And then later on, he played solid in that first period.
Yes.
Carrying the puck well. He got some penalty or power play time on that second unit and created another couple of glorious chances. Unfortunately, not able to capitalize. And then Wakely with that little turnover just inside the blue line, basically catching Thornton sound asleep in the goal.
Yeah, and that's something, I mean, especially when you're a goaltender, you always have to have your head on a swivel and head in the game, right? Even if the puck's 200 feet away. I mean, I keep bringing it up, but that's because I'm a mortified Leafs fan. Vesa Toskala, he got scored on from 200 feet away, albeit I will give him the benefit of the doubt on that one. It was a bit of a knuckle puck that took a weird bounce at the last second. So you can't really necessarily blame Toskala on all of that, but it still is a bad look when you get scored on from the other end of the ice. Thornton's, though, came from basically the slot. The Colts had possession of it. Wakely took it away, and Thornton all of a sudden nearly made the save, too, but he was too far into his net. The puck got by him, and Wakely, once again, coming up in a big moment here for the troops.
Yeah, what a great pregame ceremony with the puck drop by 3 of the Indigenous youth on hand today, and then just that emotional drumming and the national anthem in the Indigenous tongue.
Yeah, I mean, North Bay first did their inaugural Indigenous youth game was last year, and they did a great job knocking it out of the park on that one. And then this one again, just feeling the emotion again. And one last thing I'll say about it is, even though a lot of the players wore the orange tape in the pregame ceremony or in the warm-up, Divinchetta still has it out for the game, which I know you took a picture of and posted it on our Twitter account. So I appreciate you for staying active on that and basically making it look good, especially for Divinchetta to have that orange tape on.
Exactly. What a great atmosphere here, where after 20 minutes of play, the North Bay Battalion leave the Barrie Colts by a score of 2-1. When we come back after these messages, we'll be rejoined by Matt Sukram and alongside Courtney Kenny for all your second period action.
Average Joe's Eatery and Patio Bar is North Bay's only year-round lakefront restaurant. On the shores of beautiful Trout Lake, we have been serving delicious food and stunning views since 1999. Indulge in one of our delicious menu items or simply sit with a cocktail in hand and watch the beauty of Trout Lake before your eyes. Check us out online at averagejoes.net or visit us in person at 3501 Trout Lake Road, North Bay.
As a Canadore College alumni, you have access to perks. Canadore Alumni Perks. This is a lifetime membership that includes special access to great offers, opportunities to get involved, and so much more. Graduates can access discounts and special offers from businesses and hotels locally, across Canada, and internationally. Get information on special events and news, or access the alumni job portal. Keep in touch with Canadore's alumni office. Visit canadorecollege.ca/perks. Great things happen here.
You rely on your vehicle to take you to the places that matter most to you. So bring your vehicle to the team you can rely on to keep it running at its best. Dave's Automotive Services. Whether you're getting your car or truck ready for the season with a tire change, making sure you're safe on the road with an inspection and certification, or doing your due diligence to keep your vehicle in tip-top shape with regular maintenance, Dave's Automotive Services has you covered. Expert troubleshooting, quality repairs, and time-efficient labor are the 3 stars of service you can expect when you bring your car or truck to Dave's Automotive Services at 411 Airport Road. Call 705-478-5544 and book your appointment today.
The Frontline Podcast, Season 3. Courtney Kenny, Matthew Sukram, Derek Lindemann, Bob Coles, and Ben Long bring you closer to your favorite teams like never before. Covering everything to do with hockey in the North Bay area, exclusive interviews with the North Bay Battalion staff and players, expert analysis on the OHL, NOJHL, and more, keeping you up to date on all things Voodoos, Trappers, Lakers, and more. It's a new season, it's a new adventure. The Frontline Podcast Season 3. Available wherever you download your favorite podcasts.
And we welcome you back inside North Bay Memorial Gardens. Sorry, Matt Sukram getting a little bit initiated here on some technology. I mean, it's amazing how far we've come in the broadcasting.
I just realized the new laptop is a touchscreen, so there you go.
Yeah, we're here.
Okay.
We can teach old broadcasters new tricks.
Well, here's a funny story. Working at Rogers Radio one day, my desk mate was Vicky Tyler, and we all had the same computers, and she's using her finger on the screen, and I was like, I just blurted out, I was like, whoa, you can finger your screen? And she said, yes, we can, Matt. Yes, we can. So, playback underway. There's a hard hit to get things started in the corner as looked like Arnsby just running through Kavanaugh. And the puck cleared out of the zone. It's 2-1 for the North Bay Battalion. 30 seconds into the second period here. Puck sent back out to the neutral zone. Chased down the ice by Lemieux. Lemieux touches it behind the net. Flips it to the far side to Punnett. Now back to the near side, Lemieux. Lemieux lost it on the boards. Gets it back and feeds it back around the end boards for Punnett on the far side. Up to the half boards. A couple of stick checks in the area. Winslow keeps the puck at the blue line for North Bay. Chipped off the boards behind the net. McDonald centers it. Turning around. Van Steensel's shot is stopped in front of the net. York trying to pick that up for Barrie. He lost it. Sent back into the zone. McDonald throwing a hard hit, running into Lemieux. Behind the net. Picked up on the far side by Jackson. Centers to McDonald coming in. The shot save made by the goaltender Thornton. 18:44 remaining in the second period. It's a 2-1 North Bay lead, but McDonald almost making it a 3-1 lead.
Yeah, and McDonald's looked good ever since coming back from Belleville's camp in the AHL. He's had a couple of goals in the 2 games so far, but you just haven't gotten the sense that he's taken over yet. And when that becomes a reality, he's going to be very scary in this league. He's a guy that on the first episode of the front line this year, I basically said I think Kyle McDonald can lead the league in goal scoring this year. And I mean, of course, he missed the first little bit because of being away at camp, but we'll see if he gets hot, and if he does, how long he stays hot.
I was speaking to his billet parents, Deb and Heath Morrison, yesterday, and they said it's been a bit of a whirlwind for him because he came back to North Bay for the end of summer, got in a training camp here, and then he's basically been gone, and came back. It was like, hey, billet parents, I got to get to the rink kind of thing. Like, he's had a busy couple of weeks, so now they're saying now he's back into more of a normal routine for him here in North Bay. Coming down the left wing side, Petrov into the zone. Podolou tries to push it forward. It's knocked off his stick, and it's going back the other way. Set up in front of the North Bay net. Shot save made by Devan Chettis. And after the play, Govro went into the boards with Hunter Haight, and Haight is slow to get up. And it looks like he will be able to get up under his own power there, but yeah, Govro just following the play. Hunter Haight got the shot off, and both Govro and Haight going into the end boards pretty hard. So 18:02 to go in the second period, 2-1 the score. No calls, and the faceoff will stay inside the North Bay zone here.
Govro again just kind of asserting his gritty style of play in this one. And that's just something that he does, but I thought he did a good job of getting back defensively on that effort. And of course, you don't want to see anyone injured, but it looks like Haight will be all right as he was able to skate off under his own strength.
Off the draw, North Bay flips the puck down the ice. McDonald racing towards it, gets to it quickly in the Barrie zone, and then he's thrown hard into the end boards, and he immediately holds his head. Both Nelson and Jackson were going after, I believe it was Punnett, who threw Jackson into the end boards, and this thing might get ugly in a hurry here. McDonald is up. He's okay. He's back into the play. North Bay bring the puck back in the zone. Draws it back to Nelson. Big slapper. And a kick save made by Thornton. Puck to the point. It's Winslow on it. To the near side. Cross zone pass to the corner. McDonald is there again. McDonald off the half boards. Trying to get it to Jackson. Jackson trying to find Van Steensel. Back to the half boards. It's Christopoulos there. Knocked off his stick. And Barrie will get out of the zone with it. 17 minutes to go in period number 2. As the Colts come in, Chisholm takes a shot. It's off the glass and out of play. 2-1 North Bay lead here in the second, as we'll have a face-off coming up in the North Bay zone.
And I think the Battalion and Kyle McDonald are lucky it wasn't more serious, that situation, because it was a very violent collision behind the net where he went up and immediately, as he went down to the ice, before he even touched the ice, he was grasping at his face. And good thing you don't see any blood on the ice or anything, so he should be okay to go as he was able to finish out that shift. But again, a very violent looking play as well, and good to see Kyle McDonald be okay.
Now after that, Jackson actually threw a high check on Punnett coming around the boards, but didn't get called for that. Procession to the point. Govro fires it in. That's wide of the net. Now on the half boards, Matthews picks it up, plays it behind the net for Tiller, who gets it up ahead to Jodwin, and he banks it out. The Colts carrying the puck down the other way. Knocked off the stick of York, I believe, going in the zone. And now it's Romani the other way for North Bay. Romani one-on-one in the zone. Takes a shot from a sharp angle. Save made by the goaltender Thornton. And it's into the far side corner. Couple of guys digging away at it. Sema gets it out of that area. Sema on the left side of the Colt zone. Drops it back to the corner. Now skating in front of Romani. And a shot into the glove of the goaltender Thornton. And he holds on to it for stoppage in play.
This game has picked up its pace a little bit here in the last few minutes, as we mentioned. First the injury to Height at the one end, and now McDonald going down the other way. But the Battalion coming back with a very good shift after that, getting a couple of shots on goal. And we're just under 4 minutes played here in the second period, and the Battalion looking to be pressing a little bit.
16 minutes to go, 2-1 North Bay lead. Carried around behind the net, sent on net. That one's turned aside. Nelson keeps the puck in the zone at the blue line. Finds Erdl on the near side half boards. Wakely trying to help him out. Puck bouncing around. It goes in the corner. Arnsby throwing some hits. Behind the play, Erdl knocked down. Arnsby still in the corner trying to dig away the puck. He gets it to Wakely. Now to Erdl right on the doorstep. And he can't bury it. He had 1-2 hacks at it. And Thornton keeps the pads down low and turns the puck aside.
Thornton just showing right there why the Barrie Colts went out and acquired him from Sarnia, thinking he's the number one goalie, and he looked like it on that one as well. As someone as dangerous as Justin Erdl was left all alone in front of the net, and you wouldn't be able to blame Thornton too much if he let the second one go in, as there was no one to clear Erdl away from the blue paint. But Thornton really holding his ground, and once again, Erdl remains a bit snake-bitten in this one.
Play back underway as the Colts look to clear the puck out of the zone. They win the draw. They get up to the blue line, and it's out. North Bay get it back quickly, and they were coming in the zone, but then it's knocked off the stick of Petrov. And now it's the Colts going the other way. Can't complete a pass into the zone. Podolou gets it up to Tarasevic. Tarasevic over the blue line, dumping it in. So Battalion mixing up the lines here. Petrov is down to the third line with Podolou and Tarasevic, and Van Steensel is up playing with Jackson and McDonald on the first couple of shifts here. And we saw that last year as the puck is sent down the ice into the Barrie zone, where Petrov and Tarasevic teamed up a couple of times. Tarasevic has it in the corner. To the boards. Podolou throws a hit. The puck at the line. Christopoulos can't hold the line, and York goes the other way for Barrie. 14:30 to go as they bring it into the zone. It's punted. Plays it to the half boards on the far side. That is McDonnell. McDonnell lost it on the boards. Picked up on the far side by the Battalion and sent down the ice. Off the end boards, redirected right to the goaltender as Christopoulos was trying to set up Jackson on that end board bounce-off play, but it went right towards Thornton, who easily covers it up. 14:21 to go in the second. 2-1 the score, North Bay.
Well, how tough is it to call a game in which you have Kyle McDonald and Declan McDonald in a game? Well, let me tell you, on Friday again with the Voodoos, we had Nathan MacDonald for the Voodoos and 2 McDonalds on the Gold Miners for Kirkland Lake. Boy, that was fun.
I remember that from the showcase. There were a few Mick and MacDonald's on between the 8 teams that we called. So.
Yep. A little bit some linguistics. I was saying to Ben Long at the time, who was my color guy at the time, there's as many McDonald's out here as there is McDonald's restaurants in North Bay.
That's it. Absolutely. 14:09 to go in the second period. It's a 2-1 lead for the Battalion. They're out shooting the Colts 15-10, but the Colts have the edge 15-7 in the faceoff circle. Make that 16 now as they get control of the puck and send it down the ice out of the zone. Frasca sends it to the far side. That's Haight there. He gets knocked off the puck. North Bay trying to get it out of the zone. Kept in by Lemieux at the line. He sends it towards the net. Turned aside by the defense and cleared out. Chased into the Barrie zone by the Colts. Lemieux on the near side boards. Sends it back to the neutral zone. Frasca gets hit and taken to the ice by Nelson as the puck goes into the North Bay end, but cleared out quickly. Frasca gets hit again, this time at the line as Winslow knocks him down. McDonald sends the puck to the far side in the North Bay zone, picked up there by Nelson. He sends it up to Jackson. Back to Van Steensel coming in on the left wing, and that will be offside against North Bay. 3:23 to play in the second. 2-1 Battalion lead.
That one's a tough one because from up here, it looked like an okay onside play, but I mean that's why we're up here and not actually standing on the line like the linesmen do. But it's those tough ones that are bang bang like that, Matt, that I'm glad that I'm not an official out there, where my judgment might actually negatively affect the game. And you know what? It's a tough job for them, and like I said, I'm glad I'm up here.
Playback underway as the Colts win yet another draw. Stolen quickly in the neutral zone. Coming in is Romani. Romani's shot off the blocker of the goaltender Thornton and out of play. So 13-10 to go.
You know, this fourth line of Romani, Procession, and Sema have looked really dangerous all game long. I mean, Romani scoring that nice goal against the 67s late in that game on Thursday, and then Sema getting the icebreaker for the troops in this one as well. They've just looked like they're buzzing all game long, and every time that Sema or Romani get the puck on their sticks, it's almost like watching Coe and Russell last year. You got the feeling that something can happen.
Off the draw, Sema wins it, shots just wide, and then a chance on the far side post, but the Battalion could not get the shot off. That was a big offensive zone win there for the rookie Procession, and now it's back the other way. Shot from the Colts, ricocheted off the glass all the way back into their own zone. Aitchison with it. Aitchison lost it, and he gets it back. Simo's in the area, but just couldn't find the puck. And now it's up ahead to Cardwell going into the zone. Cardwell drops it back. The shot coming in, save made by DiVincentis on the shot from Chisholm.
Govro and Cardwell going to have some,
that's Chisholm actually.
Chisholm, sorry, going to have some words as Chisholm kind of came in as DiVincentis was out of his net a little bit to make that stop. Chisholm comes up to him or hits DiVincentis by going by, and Govro kind of knocked him down into the net after the play was called down. And of course, for the Battalion, Govro is a guy who's not afraid to mix it up. I mean, throwing some punches Liam Arnsby's way after a big hit on Brandon Coe in his Battalion camp in 2021. So, he's a big body out there. And, you don't expect, if anyone comes in close to his goaltender, Cam Govro is going to take that one lightly. That's
kind of the makeup of the players that General Manager Adam Dennis has looked for in his last couple of drafts, hasn't he? That one will be offside called against North Bay, so they win the draw in their zone, get it down the other way, and then they go offside. 12:25 to play in the second period. 2-1 North Bay lead. And
Dallin Wakely kind of showing off how high his vertical is on that one. Is he air Dallin or air Jordan? I'm not sure at this point, but coming up to really grab that one down, but getting the offside call on it. But still, he must have jumped about 2 or 3 feet in the air to get that one. On skates, no less.
That's it. North Bay win the draw. They get it into the Barrie zone. It comes off the end boards right towards the goaltender Thornton, and then covers it up for another stoppage of play. 12-12 to go in the second period, and it's taken about 6 or 7 minutes just to get the last 2 minutes off the clock here in this period.
Yeah, it's almost like when you do a football game with Canadian Football League rules at the back half of the halves. The clock stops on every little play, and that's how it feels between these ones as well.
Barrie win the draw in their own zone, clear it up the middle. North Bay are able to bump Jelsma off the puck, and it's Lucan who gets the puck. Now Lucan takes a hit behind the net, but he gets the puck out of the zone in the process and gets it over to Arnsby. Now to Erdl over the blue line, but coming back quickly on the back check is Jelsma, and he sends it the other way. Down the right wing side, that is McDonnell. McDonnell sends it to the middle. Jelsma coming in, scores! Jelsma rips one past DiVincentis, and this game is tied at 2. And I was going to say on the earlier play where Chisholm had the shot, North Bay were lucky they didn't give up the goal because they left him all alone, and they do the exact same thing here. It's Jelsma streaking in untouched, and they tie the game at 2.
Also lost in the shuffle, back behind the play, Liam Arnsby hit Jelsma in the zone, and now he's gone off for some repairs here on the bench. He has his helmet off and everything too, but he went back to the bench hunched over after that hit, so a little bit of a 2-for-1 there for the Battalion. They allow the second goal of the game against, and now you're just hoping to see Liam Arnsby back out on the ice as soon as possible.
Bo Jelsma has had a couple of good games recently after being held off the score sheet through the first 5 games of the season. He's now on a 3-game point streak. including 3 goals and 2 assists. He scored twice last night against the Mississauga Steelheads, and now he's got 1 tonight against the North Bay Battalion.
Again, you just get the vibe that no lead is safe against these Barrie Colts with the way that they're playing right now, especially after yesterday's come from behind win against Mississauga.
So it's 10:50 remaining in the second period. 2-2 the score now. And I wonder if all those stoppages seem to work in the Barrie Colts' favor. I mean, it seems like they're able to control the play a little bit better off those face-offs. But now Tarasevic coming in. Tarasevic takes a shot. It's off his stick, over the glass, and now to play. And as he got the shot off, the whistle went. And it's going to be Ty Nelson going to the box. Slashing is the call. North Bay will be shorthanded for the second time today after just giving up the tying goal.
Nelson getting the slash as he was leaving the puck behind for Tarasevic for the shot. And that's just one of those bad penalties you don't want to see the Battalion take. But 2 minutes for slashing for Nelson again with 10:37 left in the second. And just not necessarily what you want to see from the troops, but they were able to kill off the first penalty. We'll have to see if they're able to do so again here.
There's Cardwell with a shot. It's off a stick, over the glass, and out of play. Ty Nelson, first-round draft pick by the Battalion in 2020. Third-round draft pick by the NHL Seattle Kraken just this past summer. And this will be just the second time he's been in the box all season.
Oh, wow.
He hasn't served a penalty since the second game of the year, and he ended up scoring a goal and having 2 assists in that game, so maybe he'll come out of the penalty box like a man on fire. Well, let's wait to see what happens. There's a minute 40 remaining in the penalty to to Nelson. North Bay turn the puck over in front of the net. There's a shot from Frasca, and it just goes wide. Now into the near side corner, bouncing out in front. There's a couple of Colts in the area. Cardwell drops it back to the line to Aki. Over to the left side circle, it's Cardwell. Back to the point, Aki across the right side. Shot comes in. That goes wide of the net, and Jodwin on that shot. It comes back to the line. Aki shovels it down to the half boards. It gets knocked away by North Bay and cleared out to the neutral zone. 9:45 to go in the period. 2-2 score. And Cardwell brings the puck in offside with a minute 8 remaining in the penalty to Nelson.
And on that play also was interesting watching Kyle McDonald have to skate around without a stick because, well, it broke on that play, so he was able to still be an effective penalty killer without a stick in his hands and really put some pressure on the Colts.
Tarasevic brings the puck in off the draw, sends it to Van Steensel in front of the net, but it's redirected off his stick. Van Steensel gets it back, tries to cut in front, poke check save made by Thornton. It goes to the line, and Lucan will carry it all the way back to his own zone, drops it even further back to Winslow, and now he'll send it all the way back down into the Barrie Colts end, and it's Lemieux who will pick it up behind his own net with 40 seconds remaining on the Barrie power play, their second of the game, 0 for 1 so far in that category, and they will actually ice the puck as they send it right through the middle, and no one able to get a stick on it through the neutral zone. 9:12 to go in the second period. 2-2 the score. Barrie with the lone goal of this period.
One thing for the Battalion is you know your penalty kill is working when you frustrated Barrie to the point where they accidentally end up icing the puck. And the troops' penalty kill has looked really well so far through the first minute and a half that they've been on the PK.
Face-off win by the Colts, who carry it behind the net. Now they send it forward. Jelsma going down the left wing side. Sends it into the attacking zone. It ricochets off the boards. Goes to the far side. But the Colts can't hold on the puck. And now it's a stretch pass down the ice. Off the end board. Seema's got it. But he's just behind the goal line. So he can't get a shot off. But he'll just hold on to it. Behind the net. He's being pressured and pushed to the ice. There's 3 Barrie Colts there. And Nick Seema is single-handedly killing the remainder of this penalty as Nelson is out of the box. Seema gets the puck to Jackson, who tries to feed it to the slot, but it's turned aside. The puck comes clear out of the zone as the Colts get it out of the scoring area. What a play by Sema. Now Jackson going in. Drops it back to McDonald. Back to Jackson. Just fans on the shot as the Colts player is able to get his stick in the way. Now it's Bodwin going the other way. Gets stopped in the neutral zone by Christopoulos. Puck set to the near side boards. Punt it for the Colts is there. He sends it down the ice. Lukin gets knocked down into the corner. Puck stays in that area with 7:55 to play. Puck comes to the right side circle. Shot wide of the net. It goes to the near side boards. And McDonald finds it for North Bay. He comes skating through the neutral zone. Tries to bust through the seam, but the two defenders knock him off the puck. And now it's the Colts returning fire going the other way. Chisholm can't get a shot off. A chance for Aki now. His shot goes wide. Play on the near side boards. And North Bay are going to get called for the weakest tripping call we have seen today.
I almost thought...
Oh my goodness, you've got to be kidding me. Let's go to break before I say something bad.
This period is brought to you by Canada Alumni Perks. Get information on special events and news or access the Alumni Job Portal. Visit canadacollege.ca/perks for more information.
And Matt might not say something bad, but I might say something bad. I thought that was going to be a diving penalty with how weak that call was. Oh my goodness. Now the Battalion are going to be penalized with Wyatt Kennedy in the box. And we've watched a lot of hockey so far this year between the NOJHL, OUA hockey, the Battalion. And I have to say, I haven't been able to see as Curve Lake First Nation, we got to give a shout out to them. That's where I have a hat from them, from the Wakely family. But anyways, they're in attendance here this evening, or this afternoon, I should say. But I have to say, we've seen a lot of hockey this year. I can't speak to the OUA because I heard yesterday's game was a little bit of a mess. But out of all the hockey I've seen this year, that is the weakest call I've seen yet.
Yeah, not good. It was also how delayed it was, too.
Yes. It's like they thought about it.
Yeah. So Kennedy penalized. Puck off the stanchion. It's on the stick of Erdl going down the ice. Erdl for the Battalion going in. Drops it back to Arnsby's shot, and his shot is stopped. I don't know if it got through to the netminder, if there was a player right in front of there whose body it went off, but either way, Arnsby did not get the shot to go where he wanted it to go, but what a play by Erdl to set that one up. Aki now sends it in towards the Battalion net, redirected in the near side corner. Flipped around the end boards to the far side. That's Wiggle there. Wiggle getting pushed around in the corner. Sent around to the near side. Cardwell has it for the Colts. To the line. Aki tries to dump it in. Blocked by Christopoulos. And he sends it forward. It's just out of the reach of Wakely, and it's picked up by the goaltender Thornton. He clears it back up ahead to Cardwell. 6:30 to play in the second period. 2-2 the score. Here comes McDonald. The shot off the blocker of the goaltender DiVincentis and over the glass and out of play. 6:25 remaining in the period. 2-2 the score.
52 seconds left into the tripping penalty against Wyatt Kennedy. And the Battalion so far have looked good on the penalty kill in this one. They're getting some chances as well to go their way, as you mentioned. The Erdl one with Arnsby, which I don't think the shot got through. But still, having Arnsby there as support, that was a very dangerous chance for the troops, and a shorthanded goal would have gone a long way to fixing some ailments here for the troops.
Matthews sends it into the corner. Nelson trying to battle for it there for North Bay. Chop back to the half boards. Matthews there again. Feeds it over to Lemieux. Lemieux to the left side. That's Haight there. Haight at the top of the circle. Finds back to Lemieux. Lemieux sends it on net just wide. Rebound chance off the end boards. It's turned aside. Loose puck at the top of the circle. Now sent back to the point. It's Lemieux who has it there in the middle. To the left side. One-timer shot from Haight. It's wide of the net. McDonald picks it up for North Bay. Gets it up to the blue line. Kept in the zone somehow. Haight walking in. The shot saved made by DiVincentis. Picked up on the far side. Boards by Matthews. To the point Lemieux. Left side Haight. Back to the right side. That's Matthews at the top of the circle. Back to the point to Lemieux. To the left side circle. Haight drops it down low at the goal line. There's a chance there on the doorstep, and DiVincentis smothers it as Kennedy rejoins the team on the ice. Penalty over, 5:29 to play in the second, and score remains 2-2.
Shots on goal favor the Battalion, 16-14 as well. And the Battalion good to kill off that penalty against Kennedy. So I guess we can't really complain about that penalty too much anymore. But that's still 2 minutes that the Battalion had to defend. And now hopefully the troops can grab some of this momentum back in their favor and get some shots going on Thornton.
North Bay off the draw, get it out of the zone. Sent down the ice, but Aitchison plays it back forward quickly. Grisolia through the neutral zone, dumps it into the far side corner in the Battalion end. Picked up by Kennedy for the troops. He sends it to the half boards. It's knocked away from the stick of Petrov, so it's set behind the net. That's where Govro picks it up for North Bay. He sends it to the far side boards. Petrov is there, plays it back to his corner to Podolou. Podolou lost it. Now Govro tries to help him out. He sends it back around the end boards for Kennedy, who gets it up to Tarasevich, and Tarasevich finds Podolou through the neutral zone. Coming in on the left wing side, drops it back to the point to Petrov. Gets it up to Tarasevich at the goal line. He tried to pass it across. That got blocked, and it's the Colts who clear with 4:43 remaining in the second period. North Bay get the puck back in the neutral zone. Now they turn it over. Tiller sends it in towards DiVincentis. 2-2 the score here in the second. The Colts with the lone goal of this period. The Battalion trying to clear. McDonnell picks it off. McDonnell coming in. Wraparound chance. Centering. Save made. Rebound. Chance is wide. Play back into the far side corner. In behind the net. Jelsma trying to get it for the Colts. Pressured by Kennedy and Govro in the corner. The two young Battalion D trying to get the puck out of the area. Fed down the half board. Seema's there for North Bay. Lost it as Punnett intercepts it. Plays it back behind the net for Jelsma. He tries to center it. That got blocked by North Bay. And Precision's there to slap at the puck and get it out to the neutral zone. That's where Govro picks it up. Tries to send it forward. McDonnell picks it off. But then Precision comes in and gets it off of his stick. Now Romani feeds it down low to Seema. Seema makes a move in front of the net. Backhand a chance. And he just can't bury it. Seema plays it behind the net. Now centers it. And he's denied. Plays it to the point. Back to the corner. Seema. Seema back to the point. That's Lukin on the far side. Lukin tries to center that, pass into the slot. That is knocked away, and Jelsma is able to clear for the Colts. 3:20 to play in the second period. 2-2 the score as North Bay have control behind their own net. It's Lukin there. He'll bring it down his right wing side. Lukin through the neutral zone, dumps it in. Played out to the line quickly by the Colts. It's Cardwell coming down the left wing. He gets pushed into the boards and knocked off the puck by Christopoulos. Lukin finds the puck behind his own net and gets it cleared out to the neutral zone. Wiggle jumps all over the loose puck and dumps it right back into the Battalion end. Play behind the net and cleared back out by North Bay. It's Romani coming down the right wing side. Romani follows the puck to the far side half boards. Now played in behind the net. McDonald is back there for North Bay, trying to get away from Chisholm. Jackson in there to help him out. Kyle Jackson plays it at the top of the circle for Nelson. Nelson feeds it in front. It's through the legs of McDonald and tipped off the post. What a play there by Nelson and McDonald to almost break the tie. Into the corner, still in the Barrie zone. Sent around the far side boards and cleared out of the area. And sent into the North Bay end with 2:10 to play in the second period. Nelson gets it up ahead to Wakely coming in the zone. Drops it back to Arsby. Tries to feed it into the corner, but it's picked up there by Kavanaugh of the Colts, who gets it up to the neutral zone for Cardwell. Cardwell into the Colts end, into the North Bay end. Gets it knocked off his stick and out to the neutral zone. Wakely can't hold it there, and it's set back in, and then Nelson delivers a hit on Chisholm to knock him off the puck. 1:40 to play in the second period. 2-2 score as Nelson gets it up in Wakely. Wakely sends it out in front of the Colts net, but Kavanaugh's there, and he clears it back out of the zone. Lukin back onto the ice, finds Christopoulos. Christopoulos dumps it into the Barrie end. Kavanaugh plays it there, sends it around to the near side as the Colts pick it up and clear it again. Arnsby in the neutral zone, kicks it over the blue line. Kavanaugh picks it up for the Colts, plays it to the near side for Aitchison. He sends it down the left wing boards. Lukin will get there in the far side corner. The Battalion defender tries to find Podolou, but his pass is picked off. And now it's Frasca behind the North Bay net. His pass is picked off, and it's sent up ahead to Wakely coming down the right wing side. Gains the attacking zone, tries to play it to the middle. That one's turned away by Aitchison. 45 seconds to go in the second as Matthews brings it in on the left wing side. Tries to feed in front of the net. Frasca is held up in front of the net by the Battalion defense, but now they turn it back over in front of the slot, and Podolou, tracing back quickly, gets it away from Matthews that was right there in the middle. It's Petrov going the other way for North Bay. Into the right side of the Barrie zone. His shot goes back into the near side corner, and it's Barrie who picks it up. The Colts get it out to the neutral zone, and it's Joneway coming in on the left wing side. Going in the corner in the North Bay end. Centers in the shot, save made by DiVincentis. Picked up by Tarasevich with 10 seconds to go in this 2-2 game in the second. Coming into the Barrie zone, the shot on net. Turned aside by Thornton. Behind the net, Podolou has it, but time runs out. North Bay give up the only goal of the second, but they'll go to the locker room tied 2-2 after 40 minutes. Courtney?
And that was definitely an eventful period for the two teams. Unfortunately, it's Barrie that comes out of that one with the one goal, whereas the troops kind of scuffling a little bit towards the end. Hopefully they can take this intermission, kind of regroup a little bit, put things together. But with that being said, we'll be back with our intermission show on the other side of these messages on the front line.
Meals are a special time for families to gather, share their day, and spend quality time together. Those dinners are made extra special when you add tropical produce found in the markets and grocery stores that carry La Huerta imports. La Huerta knows the importance of family, so they know which quality products make the best quality meals for your customers, whether it be Mexican Hass avocados, Brazilian figs, Ecuadorian red dragon fruit, or something just as exotic and special. To get your supply of the best tropical produce at competitive prices with brands buyers trust, contact La Huerta Imports at 705-752-1478.
Community engagement is one of our core focuses at McDonald's. The key is finding the right people who are passionate about the same things we are, helping kids be kids. McDonald's proudly supports local organizations such as the North Bay Regional Health Center Foundation, Big Brothers Big Sisters, One Kids Place, the Children's Aid Society, and Ronald McDonald House Charities. Stop by McDonald's on 1500 Fisher Street, North Bay, to see how we can serve you and the community every day.
Hey there, I'm Mike the Financial Advisor. When you strip it down to its core and you take away all the industry jargon, I help people solve financial concerns. So if you're concerned that you'll never save enough to retire comfortably, or that your kid is going to graduate post-secondary $40,000 in debt, or maybe even that life is going to take a really unfortunate sideways turn and somebody is going to have to open a GoFundMe page for you and your family, I can help you prevent all of those things from happening. If you want to see how, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Just do a search for Mike the Financial Advisor. You should find me.
And welcome back inside Memorial Gardens, where after 40 minutes of play, the North Bay Battalion and the Barrie Colts are deadlocked at 2 apiece. Only one goal in that second period, and that came by the Barrie Colts. Bo Gelsma, with his third of the season, tied this game up at 8-18. Declan McDonald getting the only assist on that game. Couple more penalties by the North Bay Battalion in that second period. First off, Ty Nelson for slashing at 9:23, and finally Wyatt Kennedy went off for tripping at 12:27. But the good thing is, neither the Barrie Colts were able to capitalize on either of those power play opportunities. The Colts 0 for 3 during the first two periods, and the Battalion 0 for 1 as they had only one advantage in that first period of play. Shots in goal in that second period were the Barrie Colts with 10 shots for a total of 17. The Battalion 12 for a total of 20. Face-off dots still going the way of the Barrie Colts, winning 24 of the 37 draws. So the Barrie Colts dominating in that. And only one other game currently going on in the OHL, and that is in Sudbury, where 3/4 of the way through the second period, the Sudbury Wolves lead the Ottawa 67s by a score of 3-2. 67 still unbeaten in the regular season with an 8-0 record. Later on today at 4:05, the Niagara Ice Dogs are in Windsor to take on the Spitfires. And then at 6:05, the Kingston Frontenacs take on the Oshawa Generals. Only one game going on this afternoon in the NHL, and that sees the Seattle Kraken leading the Chicago Blackhawks by a score of 4-3 with just over 5 minutes to go in the second period of play. And now, during the second intermission, I want to welcome to our broadcast Chris Dawson. Chris Dawson, not only the general manager of the Powassan Voodoos, but also father of Caleb Dawson, who is having an outstanding campaign offensively for the U18 Trappers. Welcome, Chris, to our broadcast.
Yeah, nice to be here, Derek.
So, Chris, I want to start talking about the Powassan Voodoos. You've been the general manager since the inception of the Powassan Voodoos, doing an excellent job. How's the season going so far for the Voodoos?
Not bad. We've ran into some injuries, so we've had to kind of probably one of the worst starts for injury-wise. We lost a player for the year. Cam Lemke was one of our top forwards. He had a fluky injury in practice. So, Peter Goulet's done a really good job so far. We've had a tough time against Sudbury, which is a very good team. We've had a kind of a corridor start to the year, playing Sudbury, Espanola, and French River multiple times. It's been a bit of a challenge. I'd say injuries have been the biggest problem, but I think Peter Goulet is getting the boys on track, and we had a nice win on Friday against Kirkland Lake.
As general manager, the Voodoos always seem to be a strong team in contention every year. What's your secret to getting that team to that level?
Well, part of it is being in this building right here, being an affiliate with the Battalion and having Battalion picks like your son on the Voodoos. And this year we just added another one and made a trade to bring another Battalion prospect in Chase Thompson, who had a really good game in his debut at home for the Voodoos. So I think it's a connection of having our affiliation with the Battalion. Goalies like Joe Verbetic, who was great as a 16-year-old with us, to having a good core of local kids, and obviously, I've got a connection with the Trappers, having my son play, and I'm on the board of the AAA Association. So I think that the Battalion moving here, and as you know as a dad too, once the Battalion got here, it kind of, I think, amped up the hockey in North Bay and got us more on a level playing field with Sudbury, and the Sioux had major junior teams, and I think that we've been lucky enough over the years to have some really good local players like your son, like Tyler Peters, and the list goes on. It's a long list of good local players. Dylan D'Agostino, and we're lucky to have an affiliate player on the ice tonight who's causing a little bit of trouble for the Battalion, wearing Barrie blue, but a local player in Connor Punnett, who played as an affiliate with us at 15 before getting drafted in the first round by Saginaw a couple years back. So yeah, it's I'd say it's a mixture of that. We've been lucky to have a lot of good local players and a lot of help from the Battalion.
And not only are you guys promoting just players to the next level, you're also promoting coaches. You've seen Max Gavin go on to other things. Just recently, Marc Lafleur moving up into the Quebec League. You bring in Peter Goulet, who comes with a very good record. But the biggest movement of all is probably Scott Ray, who has moved up, winning the championship with the Voodoos in 2017, and now as an assistant coach with this North Bay Battalion team.
Yeah, you know what? Anytime we can help help the staff move, the better. We got another really good young coach, alongside somehow, whether it's major, junior, or junior. Josh Hardiman's probably going to be a guy you're going to hear from, and that's a guy that's been under Peter's tutelage too. So it's just more than just about the players. It's about the coaches for sure as well.
Another thing is you always attract good players to come up here to Powassan. If you're going to sell me to send my son up here to Powassan, what's the number one selling point with the franchise?
Well, you're putting me on the hot seat, eh?
Of course, you're the general manager.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, I think that the fact that we've always have a successful team, we have a really good, strong ownership and ownership very supportive of when we need things, and I think that we're in a really good spot too, being not too far from Toronto. For a Toronto kid, you can say, hey, you're only 2.5 hours, 2:45 from Toronto, and sadly, a lot of Toronto people don't know much about what's north of Muskoka, but they find out that it's North Bay, and I find that because of just the fact that it's so much easier to do a lot of things moving up north. There's more. We even hear about parents wanting to buy homes and move up here after they played here and not really knowing about it. So I think that our location, I think the fact that we're always competitive every year, I think is definitely attractive. And we've got players playing NCAA Division I. Owen Say, our goalie from 2019-20, he won his first NCAA game. And then we have Harrison Israels, who's playing at the University of Alaska Anchorage, and then we have Joe Verbetic, who did the OHL route and has bounced back and forth between the ECHL and the American League this year. So I think we just proven track record to have guys move on. And another guy who plays out of this building, and Ty's familiar with him too, Parker Bowman, was the captain of our championship team in 2017, played a couple years in the Q, was let go as an overage, and he came back with that very good team we had in 2019-20, and now here he's the captain named of the Nipissing Lakers. So it's all different facets of hockey that the players are using the Voodoos as a stepping stone.
And I just think that it's such a professionally run organization, not just yourself, the ownership, right through all of the coaching staff, the training staff, and just the setup that they have there at the Boston Sportsplex, the dressing room, the lounge upstairs, everything is first class. And you know what? That goes a long way in bringing kids up to North Bay to play in such a great organization.
Well, thanks, my friend.
But not also are you with the Boston Voodoos, you also have a son playing for the U18 Trappers, and not only the goaltender is building with you in Michael McIver. How have you seen him develop over this year so far as he is in a North Bay Battalion draft pick?
You know what I mean? Mike is a real special kid. He's probably one of the most competitive kids that I met, and obviously I get to know him really well because he's staying at my house. But he brings a lot of energy to him. He kind of lights up a room when he walks in, and everything he is, he's competitive and he wants to compete. And you watch him, just his when he's in the net, he's got his head on a swivel, and he's just very aware of everything that's going on around him, and he just moves really well. He's not a big goaltender like a Joe Verbetic, but man, oh man, with his compete level and some of the other things, and probably one of the best. I've never seen a goalie at his age play the puck as well as he does. He's very poised and very composed playing the puck. He just is really, I think he has a bright future, not only in the OHL, but, maybe even further along. Of course, I'm maybe a little bit biased as the billet dad, but he's a real special goaltender, and, Adam Dennis, I think, got a real gem in the fourth round in the draft this year.
And that's always good to have that key goaltender. I haven't been able to have the chance to watch the U18 Trappers play this year. I know you and Courtney have been able to do a couple of games.
And he's a left-handed goalie. I'm a little biased that way too.
How do you see this Trapper team faring up in the Northern Ontario or the Great North Midget League this year?
Well, I think there's going to be a lot of separation, Derek. I think the U18 Greyhounds, which are run really, really well by a GM in the NOJHL in his own right, Jamie Henderson, who kind of flips a couple titles around, and he's done a fabulous job with that group and helping promote those kids. And they did really well at the Toronto Titans tournament last year, making it to the quarterfinals. They've got a unique setup there. They're only the one team, whereas in North Bay you have the U16 Trappers and the U18 Trappers. The Sioux just has as the one team, and I think it's going to be the Trappers, the U18 Trappers, and the U18 Greyhounds that are going to be going toe-to-toe for the championship. And I think after that, I think there's going to be a fairly significant drop-off to the rest of the Great North Midget League.
So if there is a player to watch on that U18 Trapper, who do you think it is?
Well, he's really surprised, and he came on last year and had a good second half, but Caden Cowell, certainly a kid to watch on
he's been
on
up with Espinola with my buddy
times.
Mark.
Yes,
Mark up there now.
And then I'd have to say the other one who's been a real pleasant surprise is John Couch Jr. I mean, his dad has put so much time and effort into hockey for a lot of kids, so it's really nice for John to see all that hard work that he's put in for not just his kid, but a lot of the kids. Like I said before, they had 5 kids drafted in the OHL draft from that U16, and John Couch Sr. has his fingerprints all over those kids, and I proudly said he's done a lot for my son too. So
I've been able to help out with those camps a few times, and you know what, those kids have been great, and it's been nice watching them grow up and seeing where they end up in their hockey careers. Well, Chris, thanks for joining me during this second intermission. All the best continue to you and the Powassan Voodoos, and also to Caleb with the U18 season. Thanks so much. We'll hear from you again later.
Awesome. Okay. Thanks, Derek.
Thanks, Chris. Where after 40 minutes of play here at Memorial Gardens, things are starting to heat up. The physicality seemed to pick up there in the second period of play. Jelsma with the only goal for the Barrie Colts as the two teams find themselves deadlocked at 2. When we return to Memorial Gardens, we'll have the conclusion of the third period as Courtney Kenny joins Matt Sukram for all of your third period of action.
Average Joe's Eatery and Patio Bar is North Bay's only year-round lakefront restaurant. On the shores of beautiful Trout Lake, we have been serving delicious food and stunning views since 1999. Indulge in one of our delicious menu items or simply sit with a cocktail in hand and watch the beauty of Trout Lake before your eyes. Check us out online at averagejoes.net or visit us in person at 3501 Trout Lake Road, North Bay.
As a Canadore College alumni, you have access to perks. Canadore Alumni Perks. This is a lifetime membership that includes special access to great offers, opportunities to get involved, and so much more. Graduates can access discounts and special offers from businesses and hotels locally, across Canada, and internationally. Get information on special events and news, or access the alumni job portal. Keep in touch with Canadore's alumni office. Visit canadorecollege.ca/perks. Great things happen here.
You rely on your vehicle to take you to the places that matter most to you. So bring your vehicle to the team you can rely on to keep it running at its best. Dave's Automotive Services. Whether you're getting your car or truck ready for the season with a tire change, making sure you're safe on the road with an inspection and certification, or doing your due diligence to keep your vehicle in tip-top shape with regular maintenance, Dave's Automotive Services has you covered. Expert troubleshooting, quality repairs, and time-efficient labor are the 3 stars of service you can expect when you bring your car or truck to Dave's Automotive Services at 411 Airport Road. Call 705-478-5544 and book your appointment today.
The Frontline Podcast, Season 3. Courtney Kenny, Matthew Sukram, Derek Lindemann, Bob Coles, and Ben Long bring you closer to your favorite teams like never before. Covering everything to do with hockey in the North Bay area, exclusive interviews with the North Bay Battalion staff and players, expert analysis on the OHL, NOJHL, and more, keeping you up to date on all things Voodoos, Trappers, Lakers, and more. It's a new season, it's a new adventure. The Frontline Podcast Season 3. Available wherever you download your favorite podcasts.
And we welcome you back inside North Bay Memorial Gardens, and Derek Lindemann having a nice little chat there with the, as he was very emphasized, the Powassan Voodoos General Manager Chris Dawson. And we're just about to get here for the final 20 minutes of period. We do have something that we are about to announce, but with play about to get away here between the 2-2 game between the Battalion and the Colts, I'll just send things back to Matt here quickly.
Justin Erdl into the zone for the Battalion. Tries to feed it ahead to Arnsby. Got tripped up going to the net and can't get control of the puck as he falls down, and the Colts get it to the blue line, but not cleared as Christopoulos does a good job holding his own right against the Barrie bench and is able to shove the puck back in along the boards, but the Colts will try the near side, and this time they do get it out. But very quickly, North Bay shoot it right back in towards the net. Erdl throws a hit on Kavanaugh. The puck comes around to the near side. The Colts trying to clear, It's blocked once, twice, but then McDonald gets it back both times and he feeds it up ahead to Wiggle. He comes into the North Bay zone on the near side, sends it in behind the net, picked up there by Kyle Jackson. And the Battalion overager sends it back around to the near side boards to Petrov. He finds Nelson going down the right wing side. Nelson into the zone, takes a shot, save made by the goaltender Thornton. Cleared out of the zone, 18:50 to play in the third. 2-2 the score as Winslow gets it back up ahead to Jackson over the blue line. And they're going to call offside on that play. Well, you might as well let the folks know what we have in store for them.
Yeah, so for avid listeners of the Frontline Podcast, we do have another feature coming your way. And this time, we teased it a couple of games ago. It is a return of a former Country 600 CKAT superstar, I guess is the best way to describe him.
Is.
And that's Tommy Wong. He will be coming back. He's hosting a segment called Tommy's Troops Trivia. We're excited to get him going. He'll be up on this episode coming up this week. And we can't wait to get Tommy involved in the podcast.
That podcast is available wherever you get your favorite podcasts. Share, like, and subscribe today to the Frontline Pod. Playback underway. It's the Colts bringing the puck into the zone. Frasca gets poked off it by Petrov. It's on the far side boards. Jackson following that up. Can't clear the zone. Haight keeps it in. Takes a shot. Save made by DiVincentis. So the Battalion going back to their top line with Jackson, Petrov, and McDonald out there now after switching Van Steensel for Petrov on their lines in the second period.
Yeah, I was trying to wonder if maybe if Van Steensel was maybe injured, but because at times you'd see Romani out there with that top line as well. And I think what they're just trying to do is trying to get some looks of different guys in different spots to see what they really have, before you get down to the stretch run here where you're going to have your lineup set and know what you want to go with moving forward. So I think that's just a move for Ryan Houlihan to take a look at. And it's hard to fault him considering how good Van Steensel and Romani have been.
Petrov just with 2 shots on the night so far, while his line mates Jackson and McDonald have 3 shots combined between the two of them. So it's been a bit of a quiet night for that trio as the Colts get a shot on net that DiVincentis makes a save on. Playing the far side corner. A couple of guys battling for it. Precision gets it behind the net for Govro, who gets away from a hit, gets it up to Romani, and North Bay get out of the zone with the puck. Procession fires it into the Colt zone with 17:30 to play. It goes to line. Kennedy's shot goes wide, looking to break this 2-2 tie, but it goes off the boards and it's out. Cleared by Matthews into the North Bay zone, left for Romani, who drops it back for Govro. Govro to the left wing side to Tarasevich, and they get it over the blue line, but cleared out quickly by the Colts. Govro fires it right back in, bouncing puck towards Thornton, who gloves it down, and then leaves it for Tiller to play out. Tiller carries it down the right wing side on his off wing and sends it into the North Bay zone. Off the boards, Podolou gets it out ahead. It's Van Steensel coming into the Barrie zone, goes to the middle, drags it to the right side, the shot for Podolou. It's off the shoulder of the goaltender Thornton and cleared away. McDonald coming back in. Poked off the puck by Lukin, who's had a strong game defensively tonight for the Battalion. They get it up to the blue line, and Podolou through the neutral zone dumps it in. 16:30 to play in the third. 2-2 the score. Lukin even on the night. No goals, no assists, no plus minus to talk about. No shots for him tonight, but he's had a good game, even though nothing's showing for it in the box score.
He's had a couple of impressive defensive plays with his stick, Matt, for sure.
Winslow in the corner. The arm goes up as it's touched by the Battalion. High sticking is the call, and North Bay will be penalized once again. 4th time the Battalion will be in the box with 16:04 remaining. It is Erdl being sent off, and it's 2-2, and the Colts have a good opportunity here to make it 3-2.
How many times have the Battalion had a power play? Maybe once this game?
Just once tonight.
Come on. My thing about it is we get that weak call against Kennedy. Ormsby in the first shift gets tripped up going to the net, but nothing's called.
Barrie win the draw. Lemieux at the point to the left side circle. Shot comes in off the stick over the glass. and it actually went so high, it went over the top of the protective netting. So some folks in Section 9 getting a souvenir. You don't often get those ones when you're sitting there.
No, the only souvenirs I used to get here were the ones that I got while I was standing between the benches.
Yeah.
He used to get pucks all the time, or the odd stick would come in. He'd have to give the stick back, but the puck he could always kind of hide, right? So
North Bay clear the puck down the ice. Thornton out of his net to play it. Basically at the bottom of the left side circle, and he sends it down the ice. But North Bay throwing a trap in the neutral zone and are able to just dump it right back into the Barrie zone. So 30 seconds already killed off on the penalty by the Battalion, but leading the charge down the ice is Haight. Down the left wing side, played to the middle, flipped up, caught at the near side by Jelsma, who plays it in along the end boards to the far side. Christopoulos trying to get it out of the zone. Stopped at the line and turned over now. North Bay trying to go the other way. It's Tarasevic through. Tarasevic shot is stopped by Thornton. And he'll hold on to it for stoppage and play. Tarasevic had a player draped all over him going into the zone, trying to get a breakaway. But he did get a shot off. 15:15 to go in the third, 2-2 the score, with another minute 11 to play on the penalty kill for the Battalion.
good effort there for Tarasevic with the block in the defensive zone before getting the going down the ice with the shorthanded chance as well. So Tarasevic really making his presence known here in the back half of this game.
And he had a pretty good game against the Peterborough Petes 2 weeks ago. He had a penalty shot in that game and a couple breakaway chances. Van Steensel chasing the puck down the ice as the Battalion clear it again. And it's McDonald in the corner now who gets the puck from Van Steensel. McDonald from that corner. He'll just flip it all the way down the ice. Trying to kill off more time with the Battalion shorthanded. Now Lukin from behind his own net flips it off the glass but didn't get the bounce he wanted as it's kept in the zone by the Colts. They play it down low. Cardwell will get called for the hand pass and the faceoff will come outside the zone. 14:30 to play in the third period. 2-2 to score with 26 seconds to go and the penalty to Erdl.
And shots on goal still favor the Battalion, even though they've been heavily out-penalized in this one. 23-19 as the faceoff comes out of the zone on the near side by the blue line. So it'll be Arnsby versus Frascas. Frascas shown the gate, so now it's Cardwell coming in to take that faceoff, and Cardwell's the one who wins it, as Barrie, I think, has won a lot more of the faceoffs in this one, Matt.
27-17.
Wow.
As Barrie goes offside here.
Yeah, and that's something. I remember the second year the Battalion were here, Ryan Kujawinski, I was asked to take stats and such as like face-offs won and whatnot by Kojiko, and Ryan Kujawinski had a game against Barrie where he was heavily lost on the face-off dot, but the next game he came back and won basically all the face-offs that he had against him.
That's right. Kujawinski was one of the most electrifying players in his half season with the North Bay Battalion.
Yeah.
Out of the box is Erdl, and we're back to 5-on-5. 2-2 the score as North Bay bring the puck in the zone on a late 3-on-2, but the pass into the middle is off the skate of Winslow, and now Barrie go the other way. Frasca chasing it into the near side corner, gets knocked off the puck by Nelson. There's a player down behind the net for the Colts, and Nelson gets up to the puck to the far side boards. Now he sends it through the neutral zone to Petrov, in on the left wing side. Petrov takes a shot using McDonald as a screen, but the goaltender Thornton covers it up for a stoppage in play. 13:36 to go, 2-2 in the third.
And that's something that we haven't seen much of with Petrov since the Battalion returned home after their road trip to start the season. We haven't seen him take that shot as much as he used to, whereas before Brandon Cove was always feeding him with the nice passes. Now he's the one that's kind of looking to try and be that playmaker on that line and get a shot or pass away to Jackson or McDonald, but they're taking that shot that we've seen. And this shot is dangerous, so you hopefully can take a few more of those.
There's a hard hit on the far side boards. Everybody gets up, look to be okay. Sent in on net, Thornton makes the save. And coming out of the zone is Jodwin with it. On the back check, Lukin strips him of the puck. And the Battalion are not able to clear the zone with a couple of stick checks at the line. It goes to the far side boards. Bodwin tries to put it on front of the net. That's turned aside as Lucan gets in the way. But Lucan just tries to be a little too gentle with that clearing attempt, and that allows Barrie to keep the puck inside the zone. They get the shot off. It's off a stick over the glass and out of play. So Lucan with two really good plays there, but then not able to clear it. So just looking for a little bit more there on that play, but he looked, I think he was gassed at the end of that.
Yeah, for sure. And he's someone that, we saw go through some growing pains last year, especially in the playoffs, where he was basically relegated to the 7th defenseman role, and Cam Govero was playing every game. And with him coming back this year, he's really shown strong, I think, in the few games that we've gotten to see at home so far. And this game particularly has kind of been his defensive coming out party, but like you mentioned, not able to get the puck out of the zone, and just maybe looking a little bit gassed now as we're getting some explanations here from Ryan Houlihan and the referee, which is holding up the game right now, but it looks like we're underway here with Wiggle going into the face-off dot against Kyle Jackson.
North Bay win the draw. Nelson carries it behind his net, sends it down the ice, bounces off the end boards, and the goaltender has to play it. McDonald gets a shot from a sharp angle and turned aside. Sent down the ice by Winslow, deep into the Barrie zone after they cleared it. Akey with it behind the net, flips it back to the far side to Punnett, and Punnett gets it. Oh no, he turns it over the line. Here comes Petrov into the zone. Petrov shot, save made as Thornton throws up the glove and steals one away from the Battalion. As Petrov was looking to get the Battalion at 3-2. Anson Thornton was drafted 3rd overall by the Sarnia Sting in the 2020 U18 draft. But the Sarnia Sting have a pretty good goaltender of their own in North Bay native Ben Gaudreau. And so he was sent to Barrie in the offseason. He actually signed with the Arizona Coyotes as a free agent in 2021.
That's a good situation for him because Arizona don't have much depth of any position.
That's it. He's played to a 2.33 goals against average so far this season through his 6 games, including tonight's. A 4.06 goals against average in 26 games with the Sarnia Sting last season.
Yeah, and last season he was definitely stuck behind Ben Gaudreau on that depth chart, but he's looked really good so far in this game for the Colts. He's looked really good all season long for the Colts, I should say, as he's kind of like their version, this season's version of Matt Guzda. Only difference is they got Thornton at the beginning of the year.
That's right.
Whereas Guzda didn't come until about a month and a half, 2 months into the season, and at that point Barrie was scuffling.
And he did help solidify them. They were better down the stretch, but never really a complete team last season. They had a lot of injuries that they battled through last year. The Battalion send the puck, or the Colts send the puck into the Battalion zone, and there's a shot from a sharp angle, and DiVincentis makes the save there. And these two goaltenders have been solid pretty much all night. Both have given up a goal that when you ask them after the game, there's probably they want one back. For DiVincentis, it was the first one that went basically through his glove. And then for Thornton, it was the one that Wakely scored that went under his leg to give the Battalion at the time a 2-1 lead. And that was the last goal the Battalion had, coming all the way back in the first period at 12:34 of that first period. Playback underway in the neutral zone with 11:20 to go in this 2-2 third period. Wakely steals the puck, tries to feed it through to Ernal, but it's picked off in the middle by Aitchison, and he fires it down the ice. DiVincentis plays it over quickly to Govero, and he sends it along the far side boards to Wakely coming out of the zone. Wakely sends it into the Barrie end, picked off by Teeler. Teeler turns it over. Wakely's on the doorstep, drops it back, and they score! Ethan Procession precisely puts it over the goaltender Thornton. And he's got his first of his OHL career, and he leads the procession back to the bench to make it a 3-2 lead for the Battalion.
I don't know what you at home want me to say to that. Matt just summed it all up with a really good goal call. So I can't really say much to that after a wonderful goal call by Matt. And yeah, Ethan Procession, you know, he's been looking good. He's been looking real good in Battalion Green. You know, the preseason games, he led the team in scoring, coming in there as a second man, or third man really, and getting the goal on that one. Might be a big one here as the Battalion now with 10.5 minutes left have another lead.
And how about Wakely setting up yet another goal? He scored the second of the game, and I don't know if he's going to get an assist on that one, but it was Wakely who took charge on that play that set up Procession for his first of his OHL career. And again, that was Procession jumping on. They were looking to get some fresh legs out there, and he joined right up into that play to make that goal happen. So 10-11 remaining in the third, and North Bay have a 3-2 lead here in the third. Winslow and Wakely will get credit on the goal as for the assist as Winslow dumps it in. It comes right back to Winslow at the blue line. He turns it over. 2-on-1 the other way. Joneman going in. Pass across. Gets to the player. And he buries it past Steven Chentis. Callum Chisholm lifts it up and over the shoulder of Steven Chentis. And it's 3-3 as we go back and forth. Chisholm with his third of the season.
And as we've mentioned a few times on this broadcast, no lead is safe against these Barrie Colts team, as they came back from quite the deficit yesterday against the Mississauga Steelheads. This one is going to be a while for them, or is going to be another comeback as they were down a goal, and now it's 3-3, and really hurts the Battalion's momentum on that one after really kind of helping some things out. And getting there's a lot of feel-good moments in here with Ethan Procession's first OHL goal.
And that's just a tough luck play, isn't it? As I believe it was Nelson coming in on the back check. He got in the way of the pass across, but it went off his body and then over his stick.
Yeah.
And then it went to Callum Chisholm, excuse me, as again just a bouncing puck that Steven Chentis never really looked comfortable on. And I don't know why we're not going to our...
There it is.
There it is. They heard me questioning it. All right, 9:32 to go. 3-3 the score here in the third.
This period is brought to you by Canada Alumni Perks. Get information on special events and news or access the alumni job portal. Visit canadacollege.ca/perks for more information.
And again, not necessarily the result the Battalion wanted theirs to get ready for the back half of this third period. Today's attendance, 3,272, so butts in the seats here for North Bay Battalion as things get going, and that's something that we strive to do, is help get butts in the seats.
If you're enjoying our broadcast, might as well come on down and take in a game if you're in the North Bay area. And come up and say hi and, you know, give us a wave and just show us that you appreciate and value what we're doing here for you. And, you know, there's some value to listening in on it at home, but there's certainly some value to coming to see it live as well.
Yeah, and that's something we've worked to, you know, get our latency down to next to nothing. So that way you can basically listen to us if you're in the stands. If you want to hear some instant analysis or, you know, some play-by-play while you sit there and watch it, it couldn't hurt. I mean, Matt's an expert. I don't know about me, but here we are.
There's a shot off the draw, and they score! Matvey Petrov picks the pocket, and the Battalion regain the lead. It's 4-3.
What was I just saying earlier? Maybe I am an expert after all. Matvey Petrov, I still won't take credit for that, but Matvey Petrov looking to shoot more often, as that's something that he has, is a very lethal shot. And that's something that he did a lot of last year, scoring 40 goals, and that will be his fifth of the season, rather, here for the Battalion. So Matvey Petrov, the Russian sniper, doing what he can to keep the battalion going ahead in this one.
101 OHL points in 71 OHL career games, and somehow he was only a 6th-round draft pick by the Edmonton Oilers.
He can thank COVID for that one, I think.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. They drafted him before he ever stepped into a game in the OHL. Now the Battalion, who lead 4-3, looking for more. Send it on net. Thornton is under a pile in the blue paint, and he's somehow able to find the puck, as I believe McDonald fell on top of him. But again, that's Petrov scoring after a little bit more line shuffling, as Winslow and Jackson are back out there with Van Steensel now. 8:54 to play in the third. It's 4-3 North Bay.
Yeah, but one line that stays intact so far this year has been Arnsby, Erdl, and Wakely. And they're back out there with Lukin and Christopoulos, as Arnsby's going to talk to the referee right now to get some understanding on something that may have just happened. 30 shots on goal for the Battalion, 22 in favor of the Colts. It's a 4-3 Battalion lead with 8:54 left in the third.
And Matvey Petrov now has at least 1 point in all but one game so far this season for the North Bay Battalion.
It's funny because it seems like he's been off to a slower start than we were used to after last year, but part of that reason is, I mean, he scored a hat trick in the home opener for the Battalion against Peterborough. So it just feels like he's hasn't been clipping at that same pace, but he's still putting up points and still being a key contributor here for the North Bay Battalion.
Well, he's now on a 5-game point streak, but that's only his second goal on that point streak. He hadn't scored since October 7th against the Kingston Frontenacs, but in between, he's got 3 assists in the games that followed. So, I mean, point per game player right there, right? 8:25 to go. North Bay have a 4-3 lead. Bringing the puck into the zone is York. He gets hit by Christopoulos, and it's sent back out to the neutral zone. York picks it back up, avoiding a hit. Then Arnsby almost running York over, but he got the puck away from him. Yikes. Arnsby is a dangerous man out there, isn't he? You do not want to be in his way. Wakely going in. He gets an elbow in the face.
Come on.
And there's no call there.
Oh, no, he's getting something.
And now Wakely.
They're both getting something.
Wakely's going to the bets.
Oh, my goodness. What a farce.
Wakely had a chance to go in on a breakaway. Akey comes in, throws an elbow, and then the two players just go into the corner, and they both throw some hands up, and the official will call, I believe, roughing on Wakely. And I'm not sure what the call is going to be against Akey. Roughing on both players.
I heard it was pretty bad at the Lakers game yesterday, too, so...
The Lakers were out-penalized 9-2 halfway through the third period, and then they got 2 gimmies. They got one around 5 minutes, and then they got another with 10 seconds left in the game.
Oh, boy.
So it made it 9-4 overall in the game, yeah.
Really 9-3. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, I mean... So with 7:30 to play in the third period, 4-on-4, and the Battalion have a 4-3 lead with Wakely and Akey in the box.
Wakely and Akey. Say that one 5 times fast.
Sounds like a band name from the 80s, doesn't it?
Akey the Wakely or Wakely the Akey?
Van Steensel coming down the left wing side, takes a shot. Redirected off the glass behind the net, bounces to the far side. That's Nelson there. He flips it back along the end boards for Tarasevic. Carrying it down the left side. Now he drops it back to Winslow. Winslow into the corner. Feeds it in front. There's a player there. But a save made by Thornton. Coming into the play there was Erdl to get that shot off. Now North Bay center it. That's Nelson there. He carries it to the right side. Leaves it for Tarasevic. who plays it back to the circle for Erdl. Erdl back to Sarah Savage. The shot comes in off the body of Thornton and out of play.
Wakely and Akey. I can't do it. Anyways, Erdl in this game's had a couple of good looks here real close into on the goal to Thornton. Thornton stopped him 3 times now where he's been in close like that. And Justin Erdl's lone OHL goal so far coming with an empty netter. So Erdl, snake pitting to start his time here in North Bay. But watching him against Ottawa, you saw how physical he got. This game, he looks like he's close. He looks like he's getting there. And once he gets going again, he'll be started to stop.
6:40 to play in the third. 4-3 the score for the Battalion. Turnover at the line. Erdl coming in. Drags it to the middle. The shot. Save made off the blocker side shoulder of Thornton. Now Erdl centers it to the point. The shot comes in from Kennedy and it just goes wide of the net. Snake bitten is right. Man, Erdl is going, what do I have to do to get on the board now? Just keep trying.
Dolls or something.
Just keep trying, kid. You'll get one, man. You're right. He's had a couple of really impressive games here at home. The Battalion lead it 4-3. 5:55 to play. Setting it up. Jackson coming in with speed on the backhand. He sends it into the body of Thornton, who covers it up for the stoppage and play. Wakely and Akey out of the box. We're back to 5-5 with 5:54.
The Battalion, you kind of get the feeling, even with that 4-on-4, ever since Petrov scored that go-ahead goal, the Battalion have kind of grabbed a stranglehold on this game now, and they just have to be defensively sound through the next 5 minutes, or 6 minutes, just short of 6 minutes. But the Battalion looking really good in the last few moments here, Matt.
Keeping the puck inside the Colt zone for most of that play has certainly helped in that regard, but the Colts win the draw. They send it down the ice. Play in behind the North Bay net. Picked up quickly by Nelson of the Battalion. And Nelson feeds it up to the blue line to get it out. Rizzolia is able to corral it in the neutral zone for the Colts. But they get stopped at the blue line on the far side. Precision tries to feed it forward. It's onto the stick of Punnett for the Colts, who sends it up to Rizzolia. Coming in the zone. Shot. Glove save made by the goaltender, DiVincentis. And he holds on to it with 5:16 to play in the third. 4-3 North Bay lead. North Bay are out shooting the Colts 33-24. But the Colts have the majority of the face-off wins, 37-23 in that category.
Wow.
But they are 0 for 4 on the power play. And the Battalion are 0 for 1.
Yeah, the Battalion, I think if they get a man advantage here, it would be something special. You almost feel like it's worth it at this point with some of the calls that have gone against them.
Off the draw, Lukin plays it to the half-boards of Petrov on the near side, and he gets it out of the zone and sent down the ice. McDonald racing in. Aitchison just a step ahead of him for the hybrid icing call to come against North Bay with 5:04 remaining in the third period.
And you know what? You look at the sportsmanship of McDonald, who had a pretty violent incident in the one end by the Barrie Colts, but him going in with Aitchison there, just stopping up and grabbing a hold of him so they don't go hard into the boards. And that's just something that I really enjoy about watching Kyle McDonald, is that he's a big body and he knows he can cause some damage if he really wanted to, but grabbing a hold of Aitchison to make sure that neither of them went in somewhere and both of them are going to be able to finish out this game.
Jackson to take the defensive zone draw. He wins it to the near side of Christopoulos. Christopoulos turns the puck over, but Jackson's there to help him out to get it up through the neutral zone. Jackson dumps it down. Play behind the Barrie net by the goaltender Thornton. He flips it to the far side boards, and that's where York has it. Ty York looking to get it out. Plays it to the near side to Punnett. Punnett off the boards to McDonald. McDonald, the captain of the Colts, is held on the boards as Jackson and Petrov dig away at it. McDonald looks to get involved for the Battalion with Mick Donnell still holding the puck against the boards for the Colts. It finally comes free. McDonald plays it to the far side of Christopoulos. His shot is blocked in the middle, and the Colts are trying to get it out as they get it along the far side boards. McDonald comes in, throws a hit, plays it behind the net, and that line will change for North Bay, allowing the Colts to have some time and space to get it out of the zone. Carried out by Akey with 4 minutes to go in the third period. Dumped into the North Bay zone. They lead 4-3. Picked up behind the net by Winslow. He looks down his left side boards, gets it up ahead to Van Steensel. He dumps it into the Barrie zone where it's picked up by Wiggle. Played to the far side to Punnett. He plays it down the far side boards, and the Colts do get it out in the middle of the zone. Akey turns it over right in the neutral zone. Van Steensel tries to kick it forward. He gets knocked off the puck by Punnett, and Punnett plays it back down the left wing boards. Nelson throws a hit as Wiggle tried to enter the zone, and North Bay send the puck back the other way. Behind the play, there's a slash on, I believe it was Nelson, and nothing got called there. And a lot of cheers came up from the crowd and the North Bay bench on the non-call. North Bay break out of the zone with the puck. Going the other way is Tarasevich for the Battalion. He enters the zone. He finds Arsby. Arsby tries to get it to Erdl. Erdl's backhanded chance is stopped in the slot. 3 minutes to go as the Battalion lead 4-3, and it's knocked to the neutral zone. The Battalion send it forward again. Play behind the net. Akey turns it over. Arsby's there in the left side circle. He sends it back to the point of Christopoulos. Now to the half boards. It's Wakely there. And as Wakely holds the puck, the Battalion are going to get called for roughing. Erdl's going to go back to the bench.
Oh, come on. This is absolutely ludicrous at this point.
Actually, both players go into the box. Akey and Erdl for roughing with 2:46 to go. And Ryan Olahan asking for an explanation on the bench.
I'd love to ask him post-game about your thoughts on the officiating, but we all know how that goes. You're not really allowed to say anything or else you'll get fined.
I would say they did just fine.
Oh my God. Just because you have family here doesn't mean you can do dad jokes on the air, Matt. We've been through this. You're on thin ice, mister. Actually, I appreciate it. Keep them coming.
2:40 to play. But I mean, for the Colts, though, doesn't really help them. They're trying to tie the game, and they've only got 4 guys out there. So we'll see if they pull the goaltender to make it a 5-on-4.
Well, we know Erdl won't be getting an empty netter in this one.
Well, I mean, there's about a minute difference, right?
That's true. If I was a betting man.
So it's Van Steensel with the puck, dumping into the Barrie zone. Wakely battling for the puck with Aitchison on the far side. The puck knocked off the end boards to the far side boards. Back around behind the net, still in the Barrie zone. It's played back below the goal line for Punnett. And the Colts defender gets it up ahead to Haight. Haight over the blue line into the North Bay zone. Gets a shot on net, stopped. Rebound is in the slot, and they score. Yikes. That is what you call puck luck for the Barrie Colts, as it looks like it's Ronik Jodwin who got the last touch on that one. And the Barrie Colts have tied it once again, 4-4. Both teams have led twice in this game. And now the next lead might be the only one they truly need here with 1:48 left in this game.
Again, we talk about how no lead is safe with the Barrie Colts out on the ice. That being said, North Bay, Barrie played yesterday. You did not. You would think you'd be the fresher of the two teams coming into this one. Barrie at times has looked like the more rested team, I would say, in this game, Matt.
And that's what we saw on Thursday against the Ottawa 67s, where the Battalion had a week off, but did not come out and show that they had those rested legs against the 67s, who had played on Sunday against the Guelph Storm at home. So Jodwin gets his second goal of the season, his second point of the night. He assisted on the Callum Chisholm goal, so 2 points in this period for Jodwin. There have been 4 goals scored in this third period now. North Bay originally took the lead at 9:05. They took the lead again at 10:31, and they've given it back now at 18-12. Barrie have scored 3 goals in the last 2 minutes of their last 2 games now. They are a team that does not quit. 4-4 the score with 39 seconds to go in the third period. And we're back to 5-on-5 play as Earl and Akey are out of the box. Dumped into the North Bay zone. Luke in there in the corner. Looking down the left wing side. Plays it through the neutral zone. Jelsma blocks it. He carries it back in. Over the blue line. It's sent to the far side. North Bay get it out of the zone. Turn it over in the neutral zone. Sema gets it right back to Romani. Coming in on the right wing side with 10 seconds to go. He puts it on net. And Thornton will cover it up. So 5.3 seconds remaining in the third period. And it's 4-4 between the Battalion and the Colts.
Shots on goal, 33 for the Battalion, 25 for the Colts. So Dom DiVincentis has made 21 saves in the game. And that's not going to help his numbers, which came into the game at 189 for goals against, averaging a .921 save percentage. Then with 33 shots against on the Battalion, Thornton has come in and made 29 saves. So as we get underway.
Petrov at the line, fires it in, it's blocked, and that'll do it. We've reached the end of regulation, 4-4. North Bay going to overtime for the first time this season. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll set you up for overtime right after this.
Meals are a special time for families to gather, share their day, and spend quality time together. Those dinners are made extra special when you add tropical produce found in the markets and grocery stores that carry La Huerta imports. La Huerta knows the importance of family, so they know which quality products make the best quality meals for your customers, whether it be Mexican Hass avocados, Brazilian figs, Ecuadorian red dragon fruit, or something just as exotic and special. To get your supply of the best tropical produce at competitive prices with brands buyers trust, contact La Huerta Imports at 705-752-1478.
Community engagement is one of our core focuses at McDonald's. The key is finding the right people who are passionate about the same things we are, helping kids be kids. McDonald's proudly supports local organizations such as the North Bay Regional Health Center Foundation, Big Brothers Big Sisters, One Kids Place, the Children's Aid Society, and Ronald McDonald House Charities. Stop by McDonald's on 1500 Fisher Street, North Bay to see how we can serve you and the community every day.
Hey there, I'm Mike the Financial Advisor. When you strip it down to its core and you take away all the industry jargon, I help people solve financial concerns. So if you're concerned that you'll never save enough to retire comfortably, or that your kid is going to graduate post-secondary $40,000 in debt, or maybe even that life is going to take a really unfortunate sideways turn and somebody is going to have to open a GoFundMe page for you and your family, I can help you prevent all of those things from happening. If you want to see how, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Just do a search for Mike the Financial Advisor. You should find me.
Tonight's 3 Stars is brought to you by Dave's Automotive Services, 411 Airport Road in North Bay. Expert troubleshooting, quality repairs, and time-efficient labor are the 3 stars of service you can expect from Dave's.
And we're back for the overtime period. 6 seconds in, quick shot came in against Dom DiVincentis. And of course, in our post-game show, as you heard, we will bring you the 3 stars of the game. Dom DiVincentis making a quick glove save on that one. I'm Courtney Kenny. He's Matthew Sukram. It's 4-4, and we're in 3-on-3 overtime.
DiVincentis has stopped 22 pucks. Thornton has stopped 29. North Bay break out of the zone. Ernle going ahead over the blue line. Going to the half-boards on the far side. Looking for control of the puck. He sends it to the middle, but it's the Colts who are there, and it's the Colts who bring it out. Jelsma down the left wing side. 2-on-1 in the zone. It's passed through the middle. It's knocked away. And now Arnsby going down the left wing side. Arnsby to the middle. Drags it. Scores! The captain delivers in the clutch. Lucky Liam ends it for North Bay as he's mobbed at the blue line. 5-4 Battalion win here on a Sunday afternoon over the Colts.
And that's exactly the type of medicine the Battalion needed after that awful-looking loss against the Ottawa 67s on Thursday. They come out here, and after giving up the lead a few times, Liam Arnsby, who else but the captain of the troops, says, I got this, and drags his team down the ice on his back. 32 seconds into the overtime period to give the Battalion the 5-4 victory here over the rival Barrie Colts.
That is an NHL-style move to drag that puck through his own legs, create some space, and go cross-body to finish past Thornton. his first career overtime game-winning goal, and that'll be one that goes on the trophy case.
What a gorgeous-looking goal for the Battalion on that one. And, of course, as we mentioned, we will have the 3 stars of the game coming up in our post-game show. So with that being said, after an eventful third period, an eventful game in general, we'll turn things over to our sponsors one more time, and we'll be back on the other side with the Frontline post-game show.
Average Joe's Eatery and Patio Bar is North Bay's only year-round lakefront restaurant. On the shores of beautiful Trout Lake, we have been serving delicious food and stunning views since 1999. Indulge in one of our delicious menu items or simply sit with a cocktail in hand and watch the beauty of Trout Lake before your eyes. Check us out online at averagejoes.net or visit us in person at 3501 Trout Lake Road, North Bay.
As a Canadore College alumni, you have access to perks. Canadore Alumni Perks. This is a lifetime membership that includes special access to great offers, opportunities to get involved, and so much more. Graduates can access discounts and special offers from businesses and hotels locally, across Canada, and internationally. Get information on special events and news, or access the alumni job portal. Keep in touch with Canadore's alumni office. Visit canadorecollege.ca/perks. Great things happen here.
You rely on your vehicle to take you to the places that matter most to you. So bring your vehicle to the team you can rely on to keep it running at its best. Dave's Automotive Services. Whether you're getting your car or truck ready for the season with a tire change, making sure you're safe on the road with an inspection and certification, or doing your due diligence to keep your vehicle in tip-top shape with regular maintenance, Dave's Automotive Services has you covered. Expert troubleshooting, quality repairs, and time-efficient labor are the 3 stars of service you can expect when you bring your car or truck to Dave's Automotive Services at 411 Airport Road. Call 705-478-5544 and book your appointment today.
The Frontline Podcast, Season 3. Courtney Kenny, Matthew Sukram, Derek Lindemann, Bob Coles, and Ben Long bring you closer to your favorite teams like never before. Covering everything to do with hockey in the North Bay area, exclusive interviews with the North Bay Battalion staff and players, expert analysis on the OHL, NOJHL, and more, keeping you up to date on all things Voodoos, Trappers, Lakers, and more. It's a new season, it's a new adventure. The Frontline Podcast Season 3. Available wherever you download your favorite podcasts.
And welcome back inside Memorial Gardens, where the North Bay Battalion beat the Barrie Colts by a score of 5-4 in overtime. I am Derek Lindemann, and I'll be taking you through today's Frontline broadcast post-game show. Let's start with a rundown of the game summary. Opening up the scoring in the first period at 5:19 was Ian Lemieux, his second of the season, from Ethan Cardwell and Callum Chisholm. Nick Sema, with his first goal of the season, got the Battalion back on level ground. 6:43 into the first period. Assisting was Anthony Romani before Dallin Wakely, with a individual steal, put the Battalion up by a score of 2-1, his second of the season at 12:34. That was all the scoring in that first period, as the Battalion led 2-1 through one period of play. Only one goal in the second period of play, and that was Barrie Colts' Bo Gelsmill. McDonald picking up the lone assist on that, his third goal of the season at the 8:18 mark, and the teams went into the dressing room tied at 2 apiece. Both teams scored twice in the third period. Ethan Procision put the Battalion back on top with his first OHL career goal at 9:05. Dallin Wakely with the lone assist before Callum Chisholm even things up again at 10:17. Jolwin picking up the assist on Chisholm's third goal of the season before Matvey Petrov put the Battalion back on top at 10:31 with his fourth of the season. Kyle Jackson with the lone assist, and then tying it up with just under 2 minutes to play, Ronik Jolwin with his second of the season from Hunter Height and Connor Punnett at 18:12, and that set up the heroics in overtime, where Liam Arnsby, with a great individual effort, put the Battalion with the game winner, his second of the season, 32 seconds into overtime. Taking a look at the shots on goal in the third period, Barrie Colts 9, one shot in overtime for a total of 27. The Battalion 13 shots in the third period, one in overtime for a total of 34. Neither team were able to capitalize on the advantage this evening or this afternoon. The Colts 0 for 4 on the power play, and the Battalion were held off the score sheet in their only advantage. And the Barrie Colts outwinning the face-off battle against the Battalion 39-28. Now let's take a look at the 3 stars as brought to you by Dave's Automotive.
Tonight's 3 stars is brought to you by Dave's Automotive Services, 411 Airport Road in North Bay. Expert troubleshooting, quality repairs, and time-efficient labor are the 3 stars of service you can expect from Dave's.
All 3 stars going to the North Bay Battalion. 3rd star of the night, Nick Sema. He picked up his first of the season as he put the Battalion on the scoreboard. Had an excellent game, skating well, the most dominant performance so far this season by Nick Sema. 2nd star, Dallin Wakely, a goal and an assist on this Indigenous Youth Day here for the at Memorial Gardens. 2nd star, and the 1st star, the hero of the game, the captain of the North Bay Battalion, Liam Arnsby, with the game-winning goal. Those 3 stars were brought to you by Dave's Automotive. Now I'd like to welcome back play-by-play and expert hockey analysis, Matt Sukram. Matt, what an exciting game here as the Highway 11 rivalry got on the road today for the first time this year.
Yeah, that was an excellent game. I think both coaches probably would have liked to have seen a better defensive effort. There are a lot of times where right in front of the North Bay net, the Barrie Colts were allowed way too much time to have the puck and get in those dirty scoring areas, and they were putting a lot of pressure on DiVincentis, and that's what we saw against the Ottawa 67s on Thursday. The Battalion were not able to clear away those opportunities, and that resulted in quite a few goals. So they were a little bit better today, but especially in the 3rd period where you take the lead twice, you got to kind of clean that stuff up. But aside from that, loved seeing the offense from the North Bay Battalion. We had, 5 different goal scorers, including a couple guys getting their first of the season, one guy getting his first of his OHL career. I thought that was impressive. Overall, I thought all 4 lines worked really well in the offensive side of the game. Some things to be worked out on the defensive side, but having said that, Alexander Lukin had a really strong game, I felt, for the North Bay Battalion.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up to you there just in a little bit, but as you bring it up, just Lukin looks so much more comfortable this year than he did last year. He was just taking his time and making sure of those passes. He finished with 1 shot on goal, even on the day, and that's outstanding considering where we were last year. He got benched for some time in the playoffs, didn't get to finish the season, and just looking a lot more comfortable. He's doing the great things. He's really comfortable with his partner in Paul Christopoulos, and just doing the things, the little things necessary in the defensive zone, and that's key to when you're trying to break into this league, especially when you're an import.
Yeah, absolutely. 2nd year for Lukin now. Knows what to expect when he goes out there, but you're right. Couple of really good stick checks throughout the game that broke up a lot of rushes from the Barrie Colts players and frustrated them at times when Lukin was out there.
Exactly. And when we talked last year, the scoring all seemed to came from that top line. Today we got to see scoring throughout the lineup again. Wakely with the goal from the 2nd line, precision, and Sema scoring on that 4th line. That 4th line looked really strong out there. Sema, Romani, and Precision all working so well together.
Yeah, absolutely. They had a really strong start to the game, and then they had a really good finish to the game. The 2nd period was a little topsy-turvy, but it did seem like head coach Ryan Olahan was shifting things around and trying to get some different looks from some different guys. But, yeah, they had a really strong first period, including Sema getting the opening goal, and then I thought they had a really strong finish. They didn't get as much ice time as maybe should have gotten because of how strong their game was. But, I think that's going to come with time. And, again, because the game was so close, it's how much ice time do you trust those guys with at this point? But if they continue to play like that throughout the year, that 4th line is going to get more deserved ice time.
Exactly. And just how exciting. Just over 3,200 people in attendance today. And Liam Arnsby with that highlight reel goal, putting it into his feet and going against the grain to beat Thornton. What an individual effort that was for the game winner.
That was unbelievable. That's what you hope to see out of your captain. Arnsby has proven that he's not usually the guy that's going to score the highlight reel goals. He's the guy that he's going to push and shove his way to the front of the net and really get those dirty, hard-earned goals. But, man, that was something else. The drag and just no panic, right? Picks up the puck in his own zone on the half boards and calmly skates it down, going one-on-one in the zone, knowing that there's two Barrie Colts players that are trailing him behind. Calmly carries it down, drags it through his feet, gets it to his right-hand stick side, and goes cross-body on Thornton, using that Barrie Colts player as a screen. Just unbelievable. That's going to be one that he doesn't soon forget.
No, and neither will we forget. And fans, if you're looking for something to do on Halloween, why not come with the kids here to Memorial Gardens and trick or treat with Sarge and the Battalion? That will be going on Halloween night from 5 till 7 p.m. at Gate 1, right in front of the Memorial Gardens. Come and celebrate Halloween with the troops and Sarge. Well, that's the last home game of October for the North Bay Battalion. They're going to go on a road trip to finish this month 3-4. They'll be taking on the Spitfires Thursday evening in Windsor before Friday night in London, and will conclude the road trip Sunday afternoon in Guelph before returning home to take on the Niagara Ice Dogs on November 3rd. We'll have all that action for you right here from Memorial Gardens on the Frontline broadcast. But what an exciting finish for this game tonight, as the fans are going to go home happy.
Yeah, they absolutely will. Certainly got their money's worth. What they get, a combined 9 goals. So lots to see here on what was a special night for Liam Arnsby.
Yes, so make the final here for Memorial Gardens. The North Bay Battalion winning 5-4 in overtime thanks to the captain, Liam Arnsby. For myself, Derek Lindemann, Matt Sukram, Courtney Kenny, Ben Long, and our new producer in training, Dean, so long from Memorial Gardens. Thanks to Average Joe's Eatery for bringing you all game day broadcasts. So long from Memorial Gardens.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Average Joe's Eatery. Average Joe's, where we want your experience here to be a happy one. 3501 Trout Lake Road.